Let's start off strong as we light the fuse for the World Series.
It's time to qualify for the most anticipated event of the summer, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Jonathan Ramos, the voice of NR, alongside me with Jaret Lundberg as we get ready to start the NWP Duels on IDK. Jaret, a lot to look forward to here tonight. For the third time in a row, it's time to get the NWP started.
Well, and this has to be one of the favorite moments of the year for all of us on the podcast and for all you at home. It's just exciting. The drivers are excited. People coming from all over the NASCAR YouTube scene are excited. And I have a feeling that everyone is going to be even more excited after this racing because it is going to be wild.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about. Every single year we've had something different. First year, we did at Talladega. Second year, went to Daytona with the Next-Gen. Third year, we're now back at Daytona with the Gen 6, which is a big difference from what you've had last year. Brand new format and a lot of things to talk about. You know what? Might as well here. Let's talk about the format. Right off the bat, you're going to have a bump day style. Top 4 in qualifying advance their way into the main event Tuesday night. The Duels bring out the Sweet 16 because if they go ahead and finish in the top 16, they make the event. And then to end it off with a bunch of sparks and fireworks, you have the LCQ. And how about that entry list?
It is a heck of an entry list. You got people who are content creators in here. You have normal NR guys. You have people who are making their name for the first time in this event, all mixed into one amazing group.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking at great names. We got drivers that have raced NR Night in America consistently. We got guys that come in, big names in the e-ticket verse. Drivers go over their third e-ticket event win. Some drivers just going for their first, but there is talk about the car. It's been like this since, I don't know, 4th of July weekend. What is up with the Fords? Jaret, it has been a big change with how these things have worked.
Well, the difference is the way that the noses and the bumpers line up. The Fords, they're flat. It's like a car of tomorrow almost, where they can just link up perfectly. Those Chevys, those Toyotas, they're jagged on the edge. You can have someone clip into somebody else and cause a big wreck without even intending to do anything.
And that's where the damage model comes into play. Brand new damage model compared to Daytona. Remember that wreck on lap 6 with Dylan Basin? My heart stopped. I thought, did we just lose this entire field? Well, that's because the next gen damage model is just so different than the Gen 6. It's so easy to lose a race just on how the damage model works and go down on RPM. You bang in that nose, you're gonna need someone to push you to go and work forward. It's almost like a paper mache versus a tank when compared to this new generation car that is not being raced. We've seen drivers work together. We talked with drivers saying, hey, we have to be very smart on how we work together, because if you see smoke in front of you, 4 or 5 cars are sideways, get out the scorecards, because there's a good chance they will not be able to repair it.
Well, and on top of all of this, we'll get to it in qualifying. In the race itself, these cars are bad fast. Well over 200 miles an hour. The runs are just like they were back in the late 2019s into 2020. There's huge runs too, so there is no room for error whatsoever with this drafting package.
Let's talk teamwork. That's the big thing. Some guys have already gotten allies with certain Fords. Some have just Toyoted on up. Same with the bow ties. But pushing is going to be the name of the game. Remember back in 2011, it was all about tandem drafting. It was all about being consistent, getting where you needed to be. Well, you're going to have a little bit of that, but it's not going to be as on par to the 2011 Daytona 500. Push will come to shove. You may see a bullet train on the outside lane, but you will see guys linking together and shoot on forward. Keep an eye on it. I expect PBR to work together. I expect, obviously, Team TCB to go ahead and work together. And if you got two forwards lined up, that's going to be a rocket ship heading forward.
Well, and that could be the winning move. Maybe for a duel, maybe for an LCQ or the race itself. You can see what might happen at the end of the big event tonight with what they're going to learn in this race.
Now, some drivers have already kind of put their chips in the middle. They said, hey, I want to get through qualifying. I want my night to end in 5 minutes, but in a good way. Because if you're in, once again, the top 4 in qualifying, you're locked in this show. And the big thing is the new qualifying cheese. That's what they've been calling it. What's the cheese? What's the secret ingredient? It's simple. That first out lap, they go ahead and take nice and slow. They're not even full saw until they go ahead and come back around for the next lap. They finally mash that gas pedal around pit entry to start lap number 1. And what that does in iRacing is saves tires. Yes, saving tires on a super speedway will help with qualifying speed. Lap 2, that's when it's go time. They hang that thing right at the bottom, and it's gonna be the game of tens. Qualifying speeds to make the main show just off a Q should be around a 4.87, 4.86. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a 4.85.
Well, and what's amazing is you have to be good at everything. If you want to get out right away, you have to be good when it comes to getting around some of the rules. Strategy, you have to be good at strategy for the race itself. You have to be good, obviously, at the racing part. There's a lot that goes into this that wouldn't go into a normal event.
You know, usually we have picks. We usually go ahead and talk about that, but our picks are going to be a little bit different tonight. We're going to go with pull, dominant force, underdog, and who we think is going to be a big name that's getting bumped. You know what? Let's start off with the pole sitter. Jaret, who do you got?
This guy, I have been watching through testing. I've been watching all of the charts when they're put up, and he's been the fastest guy pretty much every time. And I think that this man, you're only going to see him probably for, 30 seconds tonight. Jackson Carr is gonna win the pole tonight. Mark my words.
Here's the big thing. Qualifying does start at 20, right? We all know that, but you gotta be consistent when who you think's gonna get it done. Jackson Carr has been a big name with going on pole. They call him the one-lap warrior, the one-lap merchant. All he knows how to do is qualify. But if you qualify on pole tonight, you qualify on pole come Tuesday. There's no qualifying Tuesday night. This is it. Where you finish is where you start for the event. I agree with you. Jackson Carr, you can't bet against this guy. Somehow, some way gets it done. A beautiful U.S. Air Force 44. Give me him top of the board.
He's going to go full Ryan Newman tonight. You watch. I mean, there's not very often that me and John agree on picks, and this is one that seems like a done deal almost.
Big thing here. Hey, how about the dominant force? This is the driver that we think is going to stay up front in the duels and get it done.
Well, he had a little bit of iffiness in practice earlier this week, but I think that that's out of his system. I think he is well aware of his surroundings. I'm going to go with Justin Champagne. The Champagnes are always really good when push comes to shove in these events, and I think he will be the dominant force tonight.
You know what? He's not in his iconic Don Julio car tonight. He's in a front row third in. Front row's been making a lot of steam in 2023. But you know what? I have to kindly disagree. If you watch NR9, including in the summer months, every time you take the Gen 6 on a super speedway, it's that green number 20 up front. Give me Joseph Armstrong. Very smart, very consistent. It's not that I don't disagree that Justin will be up there getting aggressive and making things work, but Joseph Armstrong's a leader. And if you're going to go up front in a duel, you have to have that leader mentality. Give me the 20. That interstate batteries is not leaving that Sweet 16.
He led the most laps in the Daytona 500 earlier this year, so I think both are very good choices. I'm still going to side with that front row car.
There's a big one right here. Hey, our underdog pick.
Well, this guy I'm picking for who I believe he's going to be working with. We haven't seen as much of him as we've seen with who I assume will be the drafting partner, but I am going to go with Jeremy Cootie in this one. Somebody who's off the radar of a lot of people, but working with Andrew Cootie, the one who won that Daytona 500 in February. I know you guys didn't forget that one. He's going to be the underdog to make this event tonight.
I don't think anyone on the social media side of NASCAR has forgotten that one, but the father-son duo, You know, I haven't thought about that at all, but that's one to be interested about. Here's my main thing. When you think of drivers that have gotten it done in the past and haven't gotten it done recently on the eTicket stage, you think of one driver. That's Frank the Tank. That's his nickname. Frank Corley is going to do it with the Wood Brothers. He's my underdog. He won the first ever eTicket event, the Dynaco 400. Bad microphone, bad quality on everything. He was there from the start. I think he's going to be here tonight at the checkered flag. Give me Horley to go ahead and advance and be the big underdog.
I think he could be someone who is under the radar. I don't think anyone I've seen has talked about him as being a huge threat going into this. So that's another good underdog pick. But I think we have maybe some picks here that might shock a few people.
That's the big one. Hey, who is getting bumped? That is a big name. We could start debating because this is a huge debating topic.
Well, this guy has had a few things happen this week. Might have got hurt a little bit. And on top of that, all I've heard from him all week is, man, it's going to be tough. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to try my best to try and make it. I don't know. And you know what? He was like that in the NR Cup Series, and it worked a different way. But this is Daytona. Anything could happen. You put yourself in the wrong place, wrong time, it could all go to hell in a handbasket. So I'm picking the champion of the NR Cup Series. Demos is the one that I think could be the big bump tonight. Hey, nobody's safe, including one of the best guys out there.
See, that's tough to say because every time in the spring when we had the Cup Series, I was saying Demos is going to have something go wrong. So he's going to have something go wrong in some way, and did not. He's one of the most consistent drivers. This is bold right here. You take this to Vegas, you may be a millionaire by the time we end tonight. That is a tough pick. He does have a new livery, though. It's not just red and white. It's now inverted for the nighttime.
I'll say, John, I'm a Michael McDowell fan. You really don't.
And I'm an Eric Almirola fan.
Yeah, you really think I wouldn't take the long odds on this one? Hey, anything could happen in this. It's why you got to watch tonight. Anyone could be out, from the guy who you think's going to be last, the guy who you think's going to win.
Hey, listen, very bold indeed, and I think this may be a little bold for the viewers that mainly watch eTickets, but I know he's going to hate when I say this. This driver has not proven anything in 2023. Huge name, a two-time eTicket event winner. I had Chad Thornquist missing the show, and I can hear it right now in the Discord. He's complaining about it. Why do I continue to pick on Chad Thornquist? Indy could have gotten it done a couple streams ago. Washed up, see ya, into the outside wall. Daytona, same song, second verse, testing. His screen goes black. Are you kidding me, Chad? Can you not get it together? I say he doesn't get his third. I say he doesn't make this event, and it's going to be a long, sad end to the summer months for the 96.
But at the same time, you can say he's washing it out of his system. He's getting it out of the way now when money's not on the line. You know what? I disagree with this one. I don't think he gets booted. It could happen. Obviously, it's Daytona. Anyone could. But, man, I think you're off base on this one.
I don't know.
I think you are.
I like the idea of saying it's Daytona. You know, anything can happen, but I am a strong believer that you generate your own luck. Chad Thornquist has done nothing to generate his own luck. He won the Geico 500 because he put himself in the position to win. He won the Brickyard 400 because he put himself in that position to take the checkered flag. He has done nothing at all in 2023 to put himself in position to go top of the board. That's just my take on it, but at the end of the day, yes, you could have a car go up in the air. 5, 6, 7 guys get taken out. But at the same time, you need to put yourself in position to advance. You need to put yourself in position to capture the flag. That's what it comes down to tonight.
Ramos, my pick isn't a boot tonight. Like that, I think I get the edge here.
Just want to go ahead and point that out. Here's the big thing I want to point out too. Before any controversy happens, yes, the way we have this formatted is if anyone gets a little nasty out there, a little overly aggressive, we can go ahead and put them in the LCQ. Because the talk of the town was, I love the format. I've seen it nonstop. A lot of praise for this format, but what happens if someone gets turned for that final transfer spot? What happens if someone gets wrecked for the win and the guy that got wrecked parked in the infield doesn't make it through? Well, we review it. We say, was this necessary? Was it netco? Was it a racing incident? Or was it a flat out dump? If we believe a driver wrecked someone to make the transfer, we could take that driver that caused the incident out of the main event and put him in the LCQ. That means everyone goes up just one spot, not the driver that got wrecked. Yes, if you get wrecked, you still have to go through the LCQ, but let's say you're 17th, and hypothetically, 2 drivers tangle up. It looked very blatant on one of the drivers that got in the Sweet 16. They go out, 17th moves up to 16th. Welcome to the show. Gonna be a lot of fun as we get ready. Under 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and that's the point of this. It's gonna be difficult to get in, but we need to make sure it's fair. There's been problems before of different people in different events before trying to curb the system. We're not letting that happen tonight.
And yes, by technicality, the duels, you want to get it in at least through the Sweet 16 or qualify, right? Qualify, you're done for the day. Sweet 16, you got it done. But if you don't make it into the Sweet 16, you need to still finish high because it's only a 20-lap LCQ. That's all it is. You've seen it before, how quick 25 laps can go on a race 5.
20 laps, and it's 27 drivers.
Yeah.
And so if you're starting way in the back, you might as well don't count yourself out, but you gotta make up 23 spots in 20 laps with everybody gunning for those front 4 spots. So it's gonna be interesting to see who maybe can work with who, because with the LCQ, you're probably not gonna be with who you're partnered up with. There's a lot of guys partnered up with people working together. That might not happen in that race because your friends might get in and you might be the odd man out.
Let's talk about the big thing here tonight, the payout. No payout tonight. But come Tuesday night, it is $600+ if you win the race. It's let me rephrase. That's $100 for halfway.
Yep.
$500+ if you go ahead and win the race. Oh, it is $600.
$650 at
That's
the
right,
moment
because
if
of
you win the
NWP.
race. And I think we should add this one in. At the NWP, we like having the fans involved. John likes having the fans involved. So 50-50 raffle tonight. Super chat money, half of that goes towards the winner's purse. So you guys can dictate as the event goes on just how aggressive and desperate they are for that prize.
And that's the big thing too. David Bell already dropped out a $20 super chat. 5 gifted members. So thankful for that. Half the revenue from this stream goes towards the winner's purse come Tuesday night. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a dash for cash on our hands. This is going to be a lot of fun. Less than 3 minutes remaining. We're ready to go trackside. We're probably going to talk to some drivers as well. It's going to be a great night of racing. You know what? Let's go ahead and head on in there, see some drivers before we take the green flag. Gavin Austin already on track. Let's look at practice. Max Steinmeier, Contreras, top 2. That's a PBR showdown as Eric W. drops another 5 gifted memberships. As I will say it again, half the revenue completely from the stream goes to the drivers. You're looking at this right here. Obviously, the overlays will update when we start Duel 1. You like what you see? Do you not like what you see? Hey, Darian's up in 5th.
Yeah, our co-host on the show, Darian, helping put on this event up there. Again, like I said, it is Daytona. Anything could happen, but look at those speeds. Look at the speeds that they are putting up. It is going to be a bad, fast event.
Yeah, I mean, you got Max Steinmeier, 44.42. Abraham Vila up there in 3rd. Michael Gregory back to 4th. Gilliam back in 5th. Balderas, Joseph Armstrong there in the 20. A lot of guys all lined in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're coming down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They've kind of just lined it down. They're just waiting to go ahead and start qualifying, but I saw a lot of single car runs getting started. Davis Lewis, we have not talked about him at all. Look at that paint scheme, the Hawaiian 1. Beautiful, and he's got the rims to go ahead and match with it. So many beautiful paint schemes. Angry Birds, Brandon Panetto, Race Jam winner, looking to go ahead and try to get it done. Blue Jimmy, a household name there in the NWP chat. I see it all the time.
And we got the Angry Birds too. Will be in the chat on Tuesday cheering on the event too. We love the support from everybody. And a really, really good looking paint scheme.
It really is. The 30 machine, that's Mitchell Armstrong. A little late entry in. Dale Greenwood there in the 88. Just saw some other drivers go ahead and roll their way around as we get ready to go. There's Dale Greenwood. On the racing surface goes some. You got Dominguez rolling his way around. The Funfetti, number 47. How about that 60? I'm a fan of the Sinclair Dinosaur. Obviously, a great homage to Dynaco. That's what they based it off of. Vincent Gucci going for his first ever eTicket appearance. He's rolled down to the inside of 1 and 2.
And as you see all of these guys on track, let us know, who is your pick for the poll? There's so many out there, so many amazing schemes out there. You got to pick at least one. There's so many people on the board popping up too. But still, that lap by Steinmeier up at the top. As you see 2 cars drafting here, That's something you might see a little bit tonight as well up towards the front. Maybe a little separation at different points.
Going to be a lot of fun to see how this all goes down. Well, we're down to the 1 minute warning. Jeremy Cootie, you mentioned him. There's Chad Thorncross. He has something to go ahead and prove here tonight. Just getting called out like that. He's going to be lined up on pit road as well. More drivers lined in. Shot clock coming down. The viewers down the chat. Let's hype it up. We got a lot of people super chat. A lot of people becoming a member. Once we drop the green flag for the duels, spam green. The driver you think is going to go to victory lane, spam their icon. There's a ton of them out there. Jacob Wilkerson now on track, ready to roll. Another big household name in NR. Either you love PBR or you don't love PBR, and that 43 is how iconic his name.
How can you not love that 43? I mean, everything about it is nostalgic, even all the contingencies loaded on the side, Chick Hicks style. I love all of this. I love the mix between them, and in less than 15 seconds, we're going to see them flying off for qualifying, and we're going to get your fast four in.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to go ahead and see as we get ready to go green. Just 4 seconds left as we're already trackside. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see who's going to be your fast four for the NWP 400.
I'm liking what we're seeing, though, but I still think Carr's going to be up front, but the three after him, I don't know. It's anyone's guess at this point.
48-7, 48-6. Viewers down the chat below, keep an eye on it as we get ready to go trackside. Machines ready to head out. That's Andrew Cootie heading to the racing surface this time by as he gets ready to go ahead and try to dial the time in. How about Josh Kenyon in the Powerade 27? On the racing surface, Davis Lewis, what do we talk about the cheese? All these drivers, they're not mashing that gas. They're taking it easy. A lot of drivers actually said we should ban this. I said, no, this is innovation.
Yeah.
Do what you've got to do to go ahead and make the show. I'm not going to stop you. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's the slowest, at least first. I don't think putting your left sides in the grass is the best way to do it if you're Vincent Gucci.
That's just agricultural racing. That's all good. We got the Tide Ride here, that beautiful 32. And man, as I'll say this, from the NWP, having a Mark Martin car in there, always a special for us.
That's Womney. That's Tim Moore getting ready to roll there in the 6th machine. Another Ford, but right on the gas pedal, Ross Corlett. He doesn't like that idea. He says, hey, give me top of the board right away. We're going to go to the outside of 3 and 4.
And you're going to see stuff like this all night. Alternate strategies, seeing maybe going against the grain might get you the win going out with it. Well, let's see these laps get put up.
He's going to be the first one to cross that start-finish line to get the stopwatch rolling there in the Beats by Dre Chevrolet. Corlette's going to be coached brilliantly, at least early on, as he flies his way down to 1 and 2. Hey, you also want screen time, don't you? Well, you're going to get it at full saw.
Yeah, it's working. Again, go against the grain. It's like the old Larry Mack adage. Don't do what the leaders will do. Don't follow the leaders, or you'll just end up behind them.
How about TCB already to the outside of 3 and 4? He's got that Hot Wheels Chevrolet dimed on in as he's got it right near that outside safer barrier. Baker's another one that I thought about putting on my list of the one to possibly miss it as a big show name. But then I reminded myself, he has one on a super speedway recently, so might not be getting it done in the intermediates, but hey, this is an intermediate.
If my memory serves me right, I believe last year's NWP 400, he finished P2, only behind Wyatt Tinsley.
He did, and he's looking to get it done. He's actually got an e-ticket event win with this car track combo. That was the World 600. Ross Corletta 49.36. That's not enough to make the show. Kevin Champagne, that same boat. Let's give some screen time there to Darren. He's to the outside of 3 and 4.
That nice Project 91 BFM Chevy. I think he's going to be pretty good, at least in the draft. He'll be around that cut line, making a lot of drama, but hey, he's got to rep the NWP and BFM a lot of ways. Brady now to the pole up top.
That's going to be Matt Skipper on the inside. Darren, quick blink out. Keep an eye out for any internet issues from the drivers. They can be penalized off that by with a restart. They may be told to go to the tail end of the longest line. Matt Skipper, Daytona native, Douglas New Bigging. Always a sight to go and hold on to, but Brady 48.8. We're getting to that cut line, and I know New Bigging knows the cheese. He's to the inside.
And Corlett is just below the cut line. So look at 4th through about 6th or so. Steinmeier up towards the top. Gucci up there now, and Goody And now Kevin Champagne is out.
That's the bubble. New bigging in. Quill now out. Jacob Wilkerson, top of the board. The question is, where's Jackson Carr as he might be waiting? Michael Gregory storming to the inside. Tim Moore up the fourth. Lions just out by one.
It's a
now
tie.
Lewis is out.
Top 5 all pretty much put up the same time. We are separated by 7
There's Jackson Carr. 48.75.
We knew it was coming. Demos might prove me wrong, and I'm not upset about it.
So looking for drivers going around. Chad Thornquist up to 6. How about Hayden Walker?
And remember, those guys 5th on down. That is how they start the duels. So Buttafuoco and Thornquist could be on the pole for each duel.
Brandon Bowie there in the 12 machine, just heading now out. The time to beat is a 48.7. Brumnett there in 3rd. His time is done. The Jack Daniels 07 drops to the bottom. Baker there in 39th. Not enough time. Tanhart just to the line in the Garage Guys 81. He sits 50th quick. Or should we say 51st? Not enough. Buttafuoco just on the outside looking in. I think Demos may be making it in. Are you surprised though of Jackson Carr?
Not at all. I mean, he was our big. Oh, Burrows up into the front 4. Wilkerson kicked out.
Look at this. It's all 0 across the board.
The top 20 is separated by 300s.
Here comes Terzak, 57th quickest. That was his time. Now goes 34th. James Thurston is on a flyer. He's in the purple this time by. Does Thurston go top of the board? 59. Is it going to be P1? He goes 14th. And look at the time. It's separated by a 2.
It shows just how close and good all these guys are. Frank DeAngelis doesn't make it. 16th on the board overall.
Up with Spencer Burns' machine. Well, that's an idea of how he's been the entire year. You know, it's not the best looking way to have his scheme on, but it's all locked in. Jackson Carr, it will be on the pole for the NWP 400. Mosteller, Wilkerson, and Thornquist, both of our picks that we thought were going to miss it, have qualified their way in. Unbelievable. They will be taken out of this race, and we'll get ready to go green.
That must have changed last second because Brummet was in for a while.
Yeah.
Unless they're already taken out for the next event coming.
We're going to see. I think it was I think Brummet was in. We're going to keep an eye on it.
And Burrows.
But we know Jackson Carr made it.
And Mosteller.
We're looking at, they already started, so it'll be Carr, Burrows, Mosteller, and Brumnett. Those are your fast. We're already looking at the dual qualifying spots. I thought for a moment, I was like, wait a minute, did we both just go ahead and drop the ball? But that was not the case.
Yeah, and you'll see those top 2 will be out. So Wilkerson up in 3rd will be the fastest not to make it in the Fast 4. Thornquist, Moore, Lewis, Lyons, Walker, Burns, and Cootie. The top 10 currently with Horley and Gregory behind them. And if you're some of those guys that we saw, some favorites, some fan favorites who are all the way back in the 50s, 60s at this point, you got a lot of work to do, and you got probably a lot of people working against you together in front of you.
Well, this will be the starting spot, at least for this duel. Now, who are the Fast 4 again? Let's go ahead and make sure they're dialing it in. They're just checking to make sure everything is good so we can go ahead and review it. I'm excited for this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it was Carr, Burrows, Demos, and Brumnett. This is the official row. This is the official lineup. You see Demos and Carr not in the race, so Jacob Wilkerson will start on pole for duel number 1. That's the big thing to go ahead and look out top of your screen. You'll see where every driver is qualified. This is just duel 1 of 2 that we'll see tonight.
Yeah, and so we're going to have, I believe, 30 cars in this race, and only 16 make it. So you're seeing rolling up towards the top right now, 2 of those taken out, so just to kind of take 2 off each position. But you're seeing a big shakeup in who a lot of these guys who will be up towards the front or back. Contreras, good super speedway racer, back in the middle of the pack for this.
Next time by, we will see the 1 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining in, we say welcome. Jackson Carr on pole for the NWP 400. We'll be retweeting all night long, live retweeting during the entire race as we get ready to go ahead and do this. Once again, top of your screen, Muvik will be in duel number 1. Joseph Armstrong, let me phrase that, that'll be Mitchell Armstrong, Gilliam, Baker, Dale Tanhart, another one back there in 29. Obviously, Carr and Demos out of the race, so 29 drivers going for just 16 spots. Jaret, are you excited?
Well, yeah, of course I'm excited. I mean, look at this field. Look at all of these different cars, both from the past and present, and Burns' car kind of going par for the course on the year, too. I mean, everything's pretty much fitting into place. You got some guys, fan favorites in the back we saw. Dale Tanhart, Darian Gilliam, those are 2 fan favorites, content creators who are going to be at a huge disadvantage starting this race.
I like Womney here in third. That's the nickname for Timothy J. Moore. He's downstairs. That's going to be a Ford on Chevrolet combo. Chevy on Toyota outside lane. Keep an eye out for the bottom lane. They may be shooting right to the front and sticking with it. We got another Ford back there, Nathan Lyons. Spencer Burns, apparently he does have the right scheme on now, but we're not refreshing. We already started this entire night. Horley is back there. Andrew Cootie as well as we get ready to take the green flag.
Well, you got to watch that cut line. Terzak and Tinsley right above it. Quill and Lilly right below it. That's where your battle's going to be. You might see some guys go single file towards the front, but those guys in the back, they have to race to stay in that position. And if they lose the draft, too, you better pray there's a caution that's not you.
Tonight will be a day to night cycle. So we're starting the duels now almost at late afternoon as style. We're going to roll into hopefully the sunset area by the time we start the LCQ. Should be a lot of fun to see. Lights off this time by, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one to go for the World Center of Racing. Let's get ready to go green. Wilkerson on the inside lane. He's won a duel before all the way back in July. Looking to get it done now, but he got a lot of heavy names out there going for glory.
Put something on his side. Behind him, 3 Fords all in a line, 4 Fords all in a line. That, we talked about it in the pre-race show, could be a huge advantage for that 43, having those flat bumpers behind him.
Sun dipping behind the clouds before we take the green flag. Michael Gregory, eTicket event winner, also in this duel. Frank Corley, what they both have in common, they're both at Daytona, starting up inside the top 10. Tyler Tinsley, Josh Lilly, as we get ready to go green. Greenwood, Quill, Champagne, all lined in. Getting a little dark here before we go in and take that green flag. We'll see when that sun continues to dip in and out. Obviously, the temperature will continue to change. Lights off. The pace car comes down to pit road this time by, and we get ready to go green here from Daytona. Sweet 16, keep an eye on that left side of your screen because you will be able to see who goes up, who goes down, and who's going to be completely out. Crowd on their feet as we get ready to take the green flag. Let's get ready to start Duel 1 for the NWP 400.
Take that deep breath, get it ready, here we go. It's about time.
Sun's out, let's do it on this Friday night as we get ready to light the fuse for the World Center of Racing. Wilkerson inside, shoved there by Moore. That's Thornquist on the outside lane. No break in the line as they're 2x2.
Pushing now a Ford behind a Chevrolet, getting the advantage. The 24 of Cootie going up to the top already.
He's already got one in line. That looks to be the 40 machine of Michael Gregory as Thornquist has not lost the ally there on that outside lane. He will thunder right to the lead as they work their way down the back. Wilkerson will lose his machine in line. That's Timothy J. Moore. Everyone holds the wheel to wheel. One out of line. Lewis to the outside.
And he is going to the lead. 4 cars lined up behind him. He's got the 6 pushing now as Thornquist falls back to Wilkerson.
Timothy J. Moore has rocketed back into the second position as Davis Lewis will bring the Hawaiian Chevrolet back to the start-finish line. He will lead lap number 1.
And as we go past 1, we have the battle all through the pack for that top 16. Up front, though, top 6 single file.
And they've got it lined in. This is by design. Downstairs, you got Thornquist lined in with Wilkerson. Just give him that shot to the back end of the Camry as they continue to work their way down off corner exit. Overlays will be updated once things file on through, but you got Thornquist, Cootie, all shuffling about. Top 10 is strong as they work their way to 3.
And a tandem leading the bottom line, pushing up towards the front. They're not going away without a fight.
That's Lyons down there. He's going to be lined up there with Spencer Burns, and he's still got the top two in front of them, shoving their way back to the start-finish line. Lewis versus Thornquist, Chevy versus Toyota. Chad Thornquist will lead lap number 2.
And they are going to pull even further ahead. Bottom line is going to have the advantage into 1.
They continue to work their way back to 1 and 2 as things continue to shuffle about as we continue to update the overlays. Chad Jeffries way back towards the rear end might be an issue with him. They are showing Thornquist now as your race leader. Lewis on the outside, lost that grip there with the Mustang. Inside lane well connected. Thornquist will be the leader back to 3.
All the talk was about the Fords and how they could push, but it's a Chevy leading the top line now as he goes back, and a Ford on the bottom leading that draft.
Nathan Lyons, summer shootout driver winner. Should we say he got a win here in the summer months? Now leads this one with Spencer Burns all over him. 4 up, 4 down, working their way back to 1.
Now Burns changes lanes, goes up to the top side. He's looking for the lead.
Frank Horley up to 4th. Jacob Wilkerson back to 5th. What do you see? 2x2 racing. We expect this for the long term, but a lot of drivers that we know that have the speed to make it outside that Sweet 16.
And somebody who's joined that Sweet 16, you see him at the back of this line, Dale Tanhart in the 81 started caboose on the field. Now he is all the way up there, 3 wide with the 42 and 28.
That's Nick Silver in the middle. That's Movick on the outside. There's Champagne getting ready to go ahead and run the table. He gets 1, looks 2 as the outside lane comes back to life as they work their way back to the line.
And you're watching double file. You don't want to be stuck in that middle lane. These guys wanted to. Wow, what a move.
Spencer Burns just nearly had a ticket to the inside wall off the nose there of Thornquist. We were worried about that, including the Toyota noses. Very ragged, but he was able to save it. What a drive for the 06 early.
I think he might stay to the bottom with the Ford friend, but that friend leads the top line. Lyons looking for the lead again.
It's a Ford frenzy up front. 3 of the Fords are up inside that fast 4. Now Chad Thornquist will push the 17 to the outside into the lead. Burns downstairs will have Frank Horley. 2x2, they rock it down off 4.
We saw this in February, though. Burns is strong at these super speedways, and he's strong enough to lead the bottom to the lead.
He's got it all made. It'll be a drag race back to the line. Nathan Lyons will get this one by. I gotta ask you, are you worried to push with Thornquist after that near-miss moment as Andrew Cootie looks 3 wide?
Yeah, you gotta be, but you also have to push. Yes, 3 wide in the middle of the pack. They are now looking to try and get up towards the top 16. There's 1 left to dry in the middle.
Carlos Struther, the lone Red Bull, down to the inside lane. He'll have Dale Greenwood in tow and has Kyle Turzak, a driver out of Virginia, going at it. Here comes Thornquist back to the outside lane. He'll have Wilkerson in tow and PBR's back working back together.
Might not be the smartest move to be dicing it up towards the front, but it sure is entertaining. The 17 of Lyons leading still with a huge push, nearly wiggled out of line, but Thornquist keeps the lead.
Jacob Wilkerson, a driver to keep an eye out for. He's up inside this top 4. He's loving what he's doing. Drivers on the move. Tyler Tinsley has had a horrible summer months of NR9. He's up inside the Sweet 16. Haven't talked about Josh Shalhoub back there as well.
He just moved there, and that shuffled out Dale Tanhart to the back. He was up there, not anymore. This front pack of about 23 or so cars. Dicing up, there's Darian Gilliam trying to get into the top 20. These guys don't have to be in desperation mode yet, but definitely need to start keeping their position in the pack.
Devins Baker, River Page, this is the second group, so it's a 26-car field thundering back to that start-finish line. Thornquist on the outside, still there with Wilkerson. 8 up, 8 now. What a duel we have early on.
We're starting to see, though, that top line. They're starting to get in formation. They're getting the dominant run up top. Top 4 or so, I think, are clear.
Yeah, he's still riding on here with Timothy J. Moore. Lyons, Burns, we've already seen multiple lead changes here tonight. We don't expect it to change. We thought they're going to go single file and ride around. Not have been the case, but how about the biggest movers tonight? I think Braden Movick has been absolutely just wailing his way forward. Right side of your screen up 18 spots in just 8 laps.
Well, look at Justin, up 14 spots now. These guys are really flying up, and no one's really moving too much backwards through the pack either.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. lot of green on the right side of your screen. They roll their way back to the line. And the big thing is, it's not like the other NR nights that we've had. You go a lap down, you're in jeopardy. You can only get it back with a wave around, or if you get the lucky dog. Keep that in mind. I would not be surprised if we don't see too much separation here early on.
Thornquist, Wilkerson, and Lewis look content to stay in line together, but down low, Lyons trying to lead them back up towards on the bottom.
They work their way back down the super stretch, and now that top 5 is really all single filed out, but Lyons will get a super shove here from Burns. Justin Champagne has worked his way around. Here comes Burns, 3 wide, back to the middle.
And they're all leaving him. They're dumping the 17 on the bottom. He's going to fall back 3 wide. Going to get in line here. No, that 51 of Terzak gets the run. He's left out to dry.
And there goes Nathan Lyons. Say goodbye for now. And you talk about reputation. What has he done at Daytona that our night? Wreck a lot. I think Spencer Burns said, I'm not going to risk it here on lap 10. Goodbye, and Nathan Lyons will sail to the back end.
Yeah, he's just barely in the top 20 now. 4 spots out. Lilly now jumps in that Menards 15, and you're seeing people ditch the bottom. Everyone's trying to make it back up towards the top.
Everyone else now single files completely, should we say, all the way back, should we say, to Horley. You got Contreras, Burns now lined in. Mikey G's got a great spotter. We've seen the TikToks from his spotter, indeed. Amazing guy. He's got it lined on that outside lane. He's got Mubik in front and a great head of steam from behind.
And you saw there on the bottom, Justin Champagne. He's leading the train on the bottom, trying to make a move. I've noticed, though, in 5th, that Cootie has been dipping out of line. Is he trying to make a move or just kind of not holding his line?
Well, the big thing is getting air on your grill. We've seen multiple times where an engine will just explode out of nowhere here with this Gen 6 stock car. So you got to keep that in mind, including when watching this race. They'll peak here and there and get a little bit of clean air on that grill and go right back the full saw to the back end of someone's bumper. But we just saw it there with Mubik. A little peak, come back in. Another peak, come back in. Spencer Burns has been pushing a lot. I worry about the temps early on, but he's got Justin Champagne in front of him, and Justin hates riding around. His goal, get to the front and stay there 40 laps to go.
We talked about the Fords being the pushers, but they're leading pretty well too. I've seen the Fords jump in front of lines and lead them to the front. That's what Justin's trying to do right now with Spencer. It's just not working out. They don't have the cars.
Andrew Cootie up the 5th, Justin Champagne up the 7th. They climb the banking back to 1 and 2, and you look all the way back. That inside lane now trying to get Ford back up. They're passive aggressive right now. No need to go 3 wide and go in and ruin an opportunity for yourself. But let's look on the right side of our screen, should we say. Chad Jeffries, Devins Baker already in trouble. You just saw the 19 machine go 1 lap down to the inside.
Yeah, already in a bad position with less than 40 to go. And we got to keep it in the back of our minds. If these guys stay green all the way, there could be green flag pit stops.
And that's the big thing, too. That's by design, the 125s. Chad Thornquist proving us wrong. He will lead another one, lap 13 out of 50.
But that bottom line will not go away. They're side by side, looking like with Moore and Cootie, but they're not falling back like we thought they would.
Davis Lewis on that outside lane. Not a lot of talk about him during speed weeks up there in that 3rd spot. And we've seen Moore have a lot of opportunities to dip to the bottom and go with another 4th. But he's saying, hey, we're 4th. We're in. We don't have to go for 1st, but you also know if I win this duel, I'm starting on the inside of row 3 come Tuesday. If I finish in 2nd, I'm row 4. Every spot's a different line, so for some of these guys up there in the top 8, they may get a little aggressive coming out of 5-4 to go, and it's instinct to go for the win.
Well, and the battle right now is between the Sunny D machine and the Pepsi machine. Tinsley and Lyons are your bubble battle with Lilly dropped in there too in that 15. That middle pack, that's what we really need to watch. That's the important line right there.
Yeah, he's talked about Nathan Lyons, how about Carlos Truther now up the 14th. That Red Bull has got it dimed on the outside lane. Tyler Tinsley has a lot to prove here tonight. He's a great super speedway driver, and he knows with everyone mostly having their head really on a swivel here tonight, this is the best opportunity to work your way forward. Walker, Tinsley, Greenwood, Josh Lilly, that's really that bubble right now. Lap 14 out of 50. We're knocking laps off. This duel can be very over very quickly.
Yeah, we are, and you're seeing, too, a lot of these guys who were stuck in the back early can't make their way up. There's not enough cars to start drafting up in a 3rd lane, and no lane is moving. They're stuck in a traffic jam.
Another thing is, why go 3 wide? You don't need to go 3 wide right now. You look at Moore up there in 4th. You look at Lewis up there in 3rd. They don't have to move. They're in, but they will go for the win. I will say that again. It's just how it is. You expect Justin Champagne to make a move for the win. Spencer Burns, a lot to prove. He's been the punching bag in NR recently for some of the stuff. He wasn't the greatest dueler, but right now proving that he can get it done up there in the Elite Eight.
But through the run, I've noticed on the straightaways, especially, we are seeing a lot more movement out of the lines. A lot of cars dipping out, trying to get that fresh air on the grill, and then in the turns, they start moving, but that bottom line's not going away. Justin is starting to pull up on Lewis now.
Got a lot rolling their way. Timothy J. Moore up the 4th, Andrew Cootie back the 6th. They climb the banking back to 1 and 2, and Braden Mulvick has been stalking the prey in front of him. Him and Cootie have not been allies, I think, ever. They're lined up nose to tail. Now, he knows if he gets to the 6th machine or more, they probably can make a dip to the inside, but Chad Thurquist knocking these laps off. Jacob Wilkerson being passive. We know Wilkerson's got an aggressive before. I guess you could say the show or the joke is he's batting 756 in NR night with wrecking guys, so keep an eye out for that 43. He will get aggressive and bold in the closing laps.
And you saw there, though, on the bottom as we were going through, that bottom line got disconnected. Oh, a little contact. But it looks like they keep it together, but they got disconnected, and you're seeing them fall back into the pack.
I think Spencer Burns had the idea of side drafting. That's Carlos Struther up to 11th. Once again, another driver with a lot to prove, and Tyler Tinsley has made up time by just sitting there. He was 16th. He's now 14th. That puts Josh Lillian in, and big names on the outside. Lyons, Silver, Quill, Gilliam, Tanhart back there in 21st. This is what he sees in front of him. Just the back of that giant spoiler. You just can't see what's in front of you. If you see smoke, you've got to react. I don't like running all the way back there, even though it is early.
I don't either, but I think that at this point, you've got to see how it's really shuffling out. You can't just start trying to make your way up there, although we're seeing maybe a little bit of movement here up front. You can't make your way up there and win it on lap 18, but you sure can lose it.
A lot of damage to the nose of Davis Lewis, and that wasn't by a wreck. And that's another thing we got to talk about, the damage model. You push, you shove, you can get damage, which could cause incidents later on. Keep an eye on that. Don't see a lot of shoving right now, but I've seen that one machine just hit it square to the back end of the 43 a couple times. Might hurt him later in this race when he wants to push someone else. So keep an eye on that. It's Toyota, Chevy, Ford for your Fast Four.
And then at that 16 line now, the top line in the back was starting to struggle. You got Greenwood and Lilly back and forth. Lilly had fallen out for a bit. He's back in.
Everyone continues to roll their way back to 1 and 2. Mulvick back to 6. Gregory back in 7. Justin Champagne in that 9th position and still have it 2 by 2, but that inside lane has gone bleak. Nowhere up inside that top 5 they are now, with Justin Champagne now running back in 9th. They need to form up or get some allies on the inside lane. This Ford train downstairs of the 3806 and the 21 has not worked out, as they're already closing into halfway.
Well, you're starting to see those guys who are in the back not moving forward. They're going up to the top now, and Justin makes a move down to the bottom, makes almost contact up top, slows up that bottom line, and you're seeing the top guys start going.
I think Burns is having struggles pushing him. I mean, you don't see any damage to the back end of the 38, and there's no damage to the front nose of the 06. It's just how they're getting connected. I've seen multiple times that 06 starts swiping, looks to the bottom. Oh, couldn't hit it square. Go to the outside. Couldn't hit it square. Have to get out of the throttle because you don't want to turn the guy. But at the same time, all these mistakes has now put them outside the top 11. Spencer Burns is now at risk of getting bumped back there in 14.
Well, and you're seeing that bubble battle. Lilly was there at 16. He's 11th now, 3 wide, though, in the middle of the pack. Justin's getting left out to dry.
Yeah, I think Burns is going to roll it to the inside, and Justin Champagne's quest of going up front and leading early on is going to say goodbye for now, as it's the rocket ship on the outside lane. Single file, Mulvick up the 6th. He's say to the course, lined up with Cootie, and it's the bullet train working 30 to go.
And you might have to train it for a while, and then maybe make up your time on green flag pit stops. You're seeing a little bit of movement in the back, but no movement forward.
That's a big thing to watch out for. How about Aiden Walker down the inside? They've got something working. Maybe Champagne was the problem, because Horley and Burns have got it connected. Here's the tandem draft we talked about at Countdown to Green.
They're going to push it all the way down, making up. You're seeing them make up ground on the top side as they go. Burns now up to 6th. possibly up to 5th next to Cooney.
Oh, we
and
got
the
one
crash.
around. That's Mitchell Armstrong down into the inside grass. Tyler Tinsley involved. That's Carlos Truther with damage. 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 machines involved as a caution will wave with 30 to go.
And this is going to shuffle him on up, and I think the 37 stuck.
Gilliam with damage. There's Dale Greenwood. All junked up on the nose, and this is what we feared. Early on, I think everyone was trying to get on that train, and once the doors shut closed, someone got snapped sideways, and Dale Greenwood, a driver that did not want to see the LCQ, may be seeing it right here.
Well, and you got to stay in this race whoever you are, because yes, you're damaged. You're probably going to be off the pace. You're probably going to have to, you're probably not going to be able to keep up with the draft. But the problem that you face is if you leave and then there's another wreck and a ton of people get taken out and you could have just puttered around there for the last 30 laps, well, and then you miss on the LCQ, it's going to be really bad to look back on.
Mitchell Armstrong, I'm watching the replay now before we all see it. I don't think he hit a thing. He was the scare that I thought. I saw him come up the track and I wanted to wait for the brace, but for everyone else, they slow it back down. Carlos Truther, Jacob Quill, they're all in. Let's take a look at this replay. This is going to be very interesting to watch back on.
Yeah, and you watched the 30. I saw him make that move down to the bottom. Darian gets really loose into one. So these guys maybe not having the best cars, jockeying around a little bit, and that might have been what caused it. Let's see. It's probably going to be around right here.
Yeah, it's around where Tyler Tinsley is, and I know Truther was involved. Looking at that, oh, Truther blew an engine. I think he downshifted the way that thing worked. Watch this.
Because you see Tinsley right behind him in that 75. Wow. Yeah, that's not normal for just the draft. You saw Lily go up in the air.
I don't know what you're downshifting for, including on a super speedway.
I don't know either, but that might have ruined the night for a couple of these guys. A couple fan favorites might be going to the LCQ if they cannot recover.
We're going to continue to watch again. Watch that 83 on the outside lane. There's really nowhere to run from there.
Oh, that 30 did get some damage on the right rear. Right, yeah, you can see the damage right there.
It shouldn't be enough to stay out of the draft, though. That's the big thing. Nathan Lyons, a little damage on the nose. So we'll continue to look at it and take a look at things. But nonetheless, the caution has come out for the first time. Lap 23 out of 50.
Well, you know what this does? Is this puts all those guys who were comfortable going single file, they're all beside each other. And these guys who might have found their drafting partner might not be drafting with them now. This is going to shuffle everything up, and we're pretty much going to enter the second half of this race as a brand new race.
So they're trying to figure out what was up. Was it an engine blow or a money shift? But you can't be money shifting full saw like that. So that could be an L4 and an L5. And we said if you get an L5, you're out completely.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be making those mistakes lap 23. Either, if you can't keep your head in the game lap 23 of a duel,
are you going to
can the pack trust you for Tuesday?
Are you going to do it for 160 laps?
What do you think so far?
So far?
L4, L5, they're trying to make the decision.
I mean, if it's a complete, just boneheaded move, L5. I mean, you can't be making these moves, even if it's a qualifying race in this, because this, one, you might have ruined the night for everybody that you got caught up with. But two, like you said, how are we going to trust you if you can't last 24 laps on a 160-lap race? I mean, that's really what we're looking at on this one. These guys up front, too, this could change the trajectory of all of these guys the rest of the night. You're starting to see a lot of these guys towards the back with damage coming back out, getting lined up in the back of the pack. I'd say probably the top 21 out there right now, but I don't know. If I'm one of the other guys who might have more damage and can't keep up with the draft, I'm wanting something to happen there.
They're going to call L4. Apparently there was some mechanical issue. That's what we're getting from multiple sources.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye on it, though. I don't like the call. I think it should be an L5 personally. You can't hold on because that just hurt Tinsley's shot. Hurt a lot of these guys are riding around.
I haven't seen Gilliam come back on the track either. He's not lined up, at least the last time I saw it. Look, Lyons has a ton of damage. Person has a ton of damage.
Joyner, Greenwood. There's Truther now on pit road still. There's Tyler Tinsley. So Truther will, there's Gilliam. He's still on the racetrack.
He's got a lot of damage all over the left side of his car now. There's a lot of drivers who were pretty fast and were starting to move their way up and be smart who have been taken out by that. But we're lining them up now, about to hit halfway in duel number 1. We still got another duel after this, so if you love this.
And there's another penalty report.
What we got?
He will also be getting a drive-through penalty for the LCQ. I think that's a little bit more meaningful. So you're not completely out, but you're out. You know, you're kind of just flirting there. That's a bad move right there because a lot of drivers are saying, you just ended my race because you couldn't keep your head focused. You couldn't stay focused, and now the admiral's like, oh, so it's a double penalty. We haven't had a double penalty in a while.
Well, the thing is, you got 27 cars in that LCQ, 4 make it. That's a death blow if there's not a quick caution. But they're lining up, lights are off, and they're going back green.
Spencer Burns on the outside lane, Chad Thornquist downstairs. Let's get ready to try it again. Back underway from Daytona.
Great jump that time by Thornquist and Wilkerson. Both of them get clear, can choose what lane they want. Muppet now up to 3rd as they enter 1.
It's a big guessing game from 3rd, 4th, 5th on back, but they finally got it back 2 by 2. Burns couldn't find company there with Horley, and now he's all got it locked in on that outside lane. That's 3 Fords in line on the outside. Here comes Braden Muppet shooting to the outside of Wilkerson. He's going to go for the lead.
He's trying to find the safest spot on the track, and that's first. He's got the push from Burns, who's been fast all night. He's got the lead into 3.
He's got it lined up on the outside. Horley back there in 3rd. Timothy J. Moore back.
Oh, Thornquist around. Don't saves it.
Yes, they do, and that was a big moment. Chad Thornquist just nearly ended Frank Horley's dreams. 2 by 2 back to the line.
And he has a ton of damage on the rear end of that car, though. Maybe not race ending, but top guys now single file. You're starting to see him spread out, though, because of that.
River Page back to 17. Now here's the train. Muvick up to block. Where does Thornquist go? He's got to mash the brakes, and they're back 2 by 2. A lot happening just in half a lap.
Purple cars leading the way on the top side over Wilkerson. Burns leads the bottom with Gregory's push and the silver bullet.
They've all got it lined in. Mikey G downstairs is just all over that 06. Spencer Burns has it lined up back to the lead. Kyle Turzak back and forth. Everyone else lined up that 2 by 2 as they work their way off 4.
And we're seeing the result of that incident earlier. Top 19 have broken away from the rest of the pack.
Everyone else continues to mind their own business, at least in the top 2 now, because Turzak's here to play. He's downstairs and has a shot from Contreras. Contreras up the 5th. Contreras looking for 4th. Kyle Turzak will be looking for the lead off turn number 2.
It's getting rowdy up front as he gets the 2nd spot. Going down the super stretch, has the push from the M&M's machine. Loose down, but still going for the lead.
Aiden Walker up the 6th. Now Turzak will bring it wheel to wheel with Burns shoved on the outside lane by Michael Gregory. Muvick can't connect with the 40. They've lost a little bit of speed on entry. The question is, what's the roller coaster drive off corner exit? Spencer Burns ahead by 5.
He has the option, stay up top or go down low. He's going to stay up top with Gregory, Muvick, and Thornquist, the top 4.
Chad Thornquist back to 4. Turzak back there in 5th. You see the guys just lined up way in the back after that incident as Michael Gregory has still got it locked on that outside lane. Muvick is stalking the prey up front as they work their way off 2.
But that top side, like before, getting that run. 51 of Turzak trying to lead him back up, but he's slowly falling back.
Contreras has got to get some cleaner on that grill at some point, but at the end of the day, they will continue to work their way up the ladder. Turzak back in the fast 4. That's still Thornquist back there in 6th. River Page has just swapped into the Sweet 16. 22 laps to go this time by.
Ball movement from Gregory there. Got a bad push from Muvick, and that's going to let that bottom line get the run.
2 by 2, not a lot of changes. They've calmed it down now. Let's look back to the Chad Thornquist situation. Man, if Horley did not save that car, it would have been another big wad of machines left and right.
Burns is blocking both lines. He went down low in front of Turzak, now back up top in front of Gregory. He's trying to control the field.
I think they have a really liked field right here in the top two, but you continue to look back. Now what's going on? Dale Earnhardt up to 10th, he's in. River Page back to 15th. Nick Silver, Rick Byram, Josh Lilly, and Mitchell Armstrong and company have it singled out. Tyler Tinsley back in 22nd. Chad Thornquist, or should we say Chad Jeffries, all in his own. Gilliam as well, but way out of reach. It's all Spencer Burns, 21 to go.
Yeah, that top side getting the run you're seeing. Dale Earnhardt now up to 8th beside the 51. They're trying to make it work, but with only 4 cars, it's going to take a lot more help.
Wilkerson lined in. Terzak still on the bottom. You got Contreras trying to go in and work back to the inside. That's Toyota on Toyota. We have not seen a lot of that here tonight, so we'll continue to keep an eye on how this train could work out. 21 laps to go as of now. It'll be 20 this time by.
And you're starting to see that bottom come back again. They're really squirrely, but they got 4 cars. He's pulling up to 2nd. Terzak going for the lead.
He's got it lined in again. Terzak on the bottom. Contreras locked on. 20 to go for the World Center of Racing. It's 2 Fords leading the way.
And you're seeing just how unstable 2 Toyotas are bump drafting versus those 2 Fords as a tandem breaks away for a moment.
Gregory's got to get air on that grill. We have to go ahead and say that. He has been all over the back end. I can see him now backing up now to get some type of clean air. You can see that little peek to the outside. That got a little scary right there. I had to go ahead and pause because something may not have worked out. Nathan Lyons below down that yellow line. Contreras, Aiden Walker. That's Timothy J. Moore back in 9th as well. What's that cut line looking like? Devins Baker in, Josh Lilly in, Frank Horley on the outside trying to sneak on through. 19 remaining for the World Center of Racing.
Well, look who else is back there. Cootie, our Daytona 500 winner. He is just above it in 15th.
Should be interesting to see. I kind of like how they're calmed down for now, but you get to 10 to go, they're amping it up. You get to 8 to go, they're for sure amping it up. Because just because you're 12th, you're not safe. If one line moves and yours doesn't, you're going to be fighting and clawing your way back forward. Mikey G is not moving whatsoever. He likes what he sees. Go back a little bit more. You got Nick Silver trying to go and work his way forward back in 12th.
Had a little blinking issue there, but seems to have corrected it for now. He's pushing up in 13th position.
Devins Baker, Dale Earnhardt right now watching it on the outside lane as he's lined in there with Timothy J. Moore. 18 laps to go from Daytona. What's going to go ahead and work out? You got Terzak now up inside the Fast Four, shoving Muvik downstairs.
Yeah, Muvik made the move down low, and now he's going for the lead right beside Burns. Side by side, they're dead even.
Everyone else continues to work their way back off corner exit. Aiden Walker, Moore back there in 9th. Davis Lewis, Dale Earnhardt now back in that 11th position. River Page in 13th. We continue to watch an eye. 3 wide, that's going to be Horley back in 15th.
Looks like Baker got left out to dry. He's all the way back to 18th now beside Justin Champagne of all people. The top side gaining numbers.
They got River Page downstairs. You're right on board with the 21 machine as they work their way back to the line. Andrew Cootie is not happy that he's back there in 13th. Does not want to see the LCQ as there goes Brayden Muvik sideways down into the inside of the racetrack. Dude, is there going to be a caution? There is not. He gets it backfired again with 17 to go. Oh man, he's going to need a yellow.
And how much you want to bet that is bumper locking up front? That's probably what happened. But yeah, he's all the way probably outside the top 20. Yep,
oh,
that is.
Man.
That's it. That's all it is.
Toyotas. Unreal.
And he's going to be completely out of this unless there's a yellow. So now, you look at that front pack, the top 18 are going for 16 spots.
That's a big headline as we continue to roll. Spencer Burns, Michael Gregory, Ford on Ford, 2 Toyotas back there 3rd and 4th, 16 laps to go from Daytona.
And they're pushing again. That 18 is laid to the bumper of the 51. You're seeing Gregory duck out for a little air, but still keeping them all beside each other.
Davis Lewis in 14th. Frank Horley in 16th. He's now the bubble guy. Champagne and Baker on the outside looking in. Muvik found an ally. May have been Mitchell Armstrong way in the back, but we will stay green. That's Gregory on the outside now with Burns. That's Terzak downstairs with Contreras back 2 by 2.
And they're again even, but Terzak getting the edge out. He's going to lead as they go to the trioval.
Back to the line this time by Spencer Burns has shown his strength on the super speedways. Tim Moore up inside the top 10. Tanhart trying to underdog his way into the show. Baker, Horley, I watched that eye as they're back 2x2.
Well, and Justin has not made any ground up. He's actually 3 car lengths or so off the main pack.
Now that's a little scary, don't you think? I mean, he probably has to get in line here. I'm worried he's going to lose this draft.
Gotta get to the bottom, get behind a car, get in the draft.
That'll be another big name. Then it would just be 17 guys going for 16 spots. Mubik has to worry again because I don't think anyone's going to get too aggressive. They know they're all in.
Yeah, they have to take it easy, but we've seen before where guys will try and take it easy, but also try and win the race and end up bringing out that yellow.
15, now 14 laps to go when they work their way back to line. Ford on Ford, a Toyota on the inside lined in. Contreras, Thornquist, Jacob Wilkerson now up to 7th. Andrew Cootie, Dale Tanhart, Davis Lewis lining up that sweet 16. Horley and Baker continue to swap it in and out to see who makes it into the main.
6 and more, ducking out of line a little bit. Tanhart thought about going, thought better of it. Justin still the odd man out in this pack, as well as Baker.
Everyone else continues to work their way back to the high banks. There are 3 and 4. Josh Lilly, an unsung name. He's downstairs. Look at the damage on that nose. I'm not sure if he was involved in an incident already tonight, but nonetheless, a big trooper watching on. Andrew Cootie, I was worried about him making it at all. He's down that inside lane. Nathan Lyons ducks below. 13 to go. You don't make it through the duels, you still have the LCQ, but you need to make it through the duels to go and keep that heart rate down to a minimum.
Yes, you do, but up front, the heart rate's still picking up when it comes to the 06 and the 40. Burns and Gregory moving around, trying to get air and trying to keep the lead.
There's the damage on Chad Jeffries on the left side of that machine. They do keep it back forward as they work their way back to 3 and 4. Turzak, Contreras, they're reviewing this situation between Turzak and Mubik. If this race goes green, he did prevent him from making the show. Keep an eye on it. They will continue to contest that, but that depends on what goes down.
But was it a racing incident?
That's the big thing.
It didn't look intentional from the initial replay. That's what they're reviewing.
12 laps to go. Spencer Burns, race leader on the outside lane. Michael Gregory, Timothy J. Moore, Dale Tanhart, and Cootie up inside that top 10. 12 laps to go. Chad Thornquist, he's already had an issue pushing here tonight. Do we see another one? And every spot is an extra position when you come to the main event. How badly do you want to win?
At this point, though, with this few cars up front, you got to go for just making the show. Because you could be like Burns and leading up front, but if you have the wrong person push you, spin you out going into the tri-oval, you're out of here.
Pushing, shoving, Michael Gregory right to the rear of Burns, Ford on Ford. That's a recipe for success, and it's just shown that way so far tonight. Person in 19th, Tyler Tinsley back there in 20th. The drivers continue to shuffle about.
Baker got shuffled in the back, and that's going to bring Champagne back into the fold in the middle.
And Champagne will now make the field. Horley Baker now out. That's Byram and Lewis now fighting for that last spot with sticks on the board.
And Byram is pushing Lilly. Oh, Burns down to the bottom into the grass.
Does he save it? That's the real question. Looking for
a nine,
but
he's out.
That's 2 now, and Kyle Turzak will now take the lead as Mikey G drops back to 4.
What happened there? He had a Ford behind him.
It's better to be in a 4, but that doesn't mean it's foolproof. So easy to lift these cars off the ground with 10 laps remaining.
But in the shuffle, Contreras now is in the lead with Walker behind him. Gregory's back 3rd.
And they all line it back up again to the high banks. Wilkerson in tow. What do you do if you're Aiden Walker? And a lot of them see this as like, oh, there's a lot watching. I want to go to victory lane with that many watching back at home. Keep an eye on it. No one's sitting in second saying, I'm good, I'm in the show. They're going for the win.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're looking at this pack, Horley is actually a couple car lengths back. He needs to get in the draft, or he could lose it and lock it up for all of them.
Walker, Contreras, Mikey G, Chad Thornquist, and Wilkerson. Keep an eye on it.
Whole movement. It looked like Thornquist goes into the middle because Gregory was really loose and shuffles the field again.
And River Page will go to the bottom. That puts Tanhart down there. Silver, another one sideways off the tri-oval. Wrecking loose with 9 laps to go.
Well, you got to think some of these guys have damage on their back bumpers and they're getting bump drafted. Look at the back bumper of Thornquist, all mangled up. anything could send
And he's
him.
going to have a Toyota lined up with him. We monitor the 96 and the 18. Cootie just shoved the 51. Mikey G's got a problem, and I mean a big one. He just slammed the outside wall on the straightaway.
And Baker had been out of this race for until about 10 to go. He's in the top 5 now with all of that.
Here comes Cootie up the second, trying to get it done at Daytona again. Baker to the bottom, tagged by Tanhart. What a save with 8 laps to go.
They're cutting it closer and closer. None of these guys think they're in. At the moment, the only one out is again Justin Champagne.
Wilkerson, who was in to begin with all race long, is now in jeopardy. Lined up with the 40 machine. Behind him, still Champagne. They all continue to watch on as they work their way down the back.
And now the 43 Wilkerson 16th with Gregory back there. Up front, Dale Tanhart's going for a top 5 spot. He's just kept it clean all day long.
Tim Moore on the outside lane. Thornquist, a shot to the quarter panel. Has to lay out of the throttle as they will continue to fall back into jeopardy. Now, it will be Tanhart rolling forward. The top 5, top 7 is single file down with 7 laps to go.
And they're lining them up now towards the front. I want to say the top 6, 7, maybe 8 now. Single file on the bottom.
Kyle Turzak, Andrew Cootie, Baker, Tanhart, Moore. Josh Lilly up to 9th. You got Contreras on the outside lane. Here comes Tanhart, the move to the outside. He has never won a race in our night in America. He can get his first here, but there's 7 to go.
He's got the push from Moore. He's battling beside Baker for 4th. Top 3 getting a small breakaway.
Page up to 3rd, lot of separation. Baker has daylight, outside lane, does he go for it? And line up with a Chevrolet, he thought about doing it, but Thornquist brings it back together. Now 6 to go, just into a 1.
You gotta think that near spins in the back of his mind. Don't clear yourself, you're in the show. He's not gonna have a choice now as Tanhart gets the run on the high side.
Locked in there with Moore. Moore looking for a P, top, bottom, not gonna go. We're a Page with an issue. Thornquist on the apron. They both go ahead and save it again. Someone is going to go ahead and snap at some point. The question is it on the white flag or now?
Well, Turzak blocked the run from Tanhart, who's gotten himself up to 2nd. He's pushing him out of the way, going towards the middle. They all keep it together.
Tanhart trying to find his way through. Turzak mirror driving 3 wide. Justin Champagne threading the needle
Always at the
to the rear
Contreras.
end of Contreras. They all hold on. 5 to go. Andrew Cootie leads.
And just like that, Tanhart back in the middle of the scrum, hitting the 18, 3 wide all through the pack.
Davis Lewis now out. Wilkerson is in. 3 wide, 4 rows deep. This is for the transfer spot. Nobody can go ahead and get it together. Lewis will yield. Tanhart wants to go to the bottom.
Can't.
Still 3 wide with no change.
And the Toyotas now get the run. Turzak blocks Tanhart all the way to the bottom. He's going 4 wide by himself.
Oh, they're going to roll their way back to the bottom. Contreras on that outside lane. Tanhart lost a little speed. Wamney's in brisk. He's back in 15th. Mikey G, the last one in. Justin Champagne watching on. 4 to go for the World Center of Racing.
And they've got it into a line outside of those back 3 who are 3 wide. That's the fight, and it looks like Contreras is the odd one out. He's out now with 4 to go.
Doesn't want to see the LCQ. Justin Champagne is there. They've now trained on the bottom line, and they want to hold on to this one. Who's going to make the move to go to victory lane? Tanhart's got a block, but look at this. They're dropping back for a real reason. That's to get a run on that last lap.
But they're not racing together. The 38 and the 6 were trying different lanes, but they're going to get it anyway. They're going to the high side. All they need is 1 spot.
Here comes Champagne, past Tanhart, goes Gregory as they're now wheel to wheel. A shot once, twice, Ford on Ford, trying to get it done, 3 laps to go.
And they shuffle Dale in the process. The 2 Fords tandeming up towards the top, and the 6th car there of Moore right with them.
Everyone else continues 2 by 2, climbing the banking of 1 and 2. Turzak back at risk, back there in 10th. If that outside lane gets it collected, it's going to be a Royale versus the 1, the 28, and the 81. Tanhart's now out of this race. 3 laps to go. Everyone chases Andrew Cootie.
There's movement up to the high side. High line is building, and you see in the back, Dale goes with them. That's the guy who's out right now. Yeah, he'd be the pole sitter for the LCQ, but you don't want to be there. He is trying to figure out which line's going to get the run.
That's going to be Greenwood on the bottom side. He just sucked the air off the nose there of Walker, and the inside lane's now at risk. Here comes Champagne on the outside, 2 to go.
Huge run on the outside as well. Cootie side by side with Page for the lead. The battle for the transfer spot now goes with Silver being out.
Here comes Champagne, 3 wide to the outside, blocked by the 24. Andrew Cootie now wheel to wheel down River Page. They continue to jostle down the backstretch.
They're not taking it easy at all. Lap and a half to go. Thornquist in the middle, and now Dale getting the run on the outside, looking in as Walker beside Wilkerson. Wilkerson makes a move under Gregory.
A lot of shuffling, back to 3 and 4, and the white flag makes this race official. Next flag, automatically the checkered flag. The question is, do they get it? Cootie blocks bottom. Champagne goes top. Wheel to wheel, and this race will be official. Santa Blanca, 1 to go in Duel 1.
Lap cars on the bottom are going to make them 3 wide through 1 and 2 now. The push coming from Baker to Page. Down on the bottom, Cootie keeps the lead.
Trying to get it done. Spencer Burns on the outside, needs a rack. Mikey G on the outside, needs one spot. Here comes Cootie to the outside lane, shuts the door on Champagne down the backstretch.
He cut it close, but they keep it straight. The 14 now of Baker trying to push that bottom line. Below it is Horley. Outside now is Walker beside Gregory.
Here comes Champagne,
43 is
climbing
loose.
the banking, trying to get it done. Spin, save, way in the back. Who's gonna pass this 24? Final time of the line. Cootie to the outside, block Champagne. Andrew Cootie will win Duel 1 at Daytona.
And it's going to be Walker. He's the one out in the 93 as they crash past the finish. Wow, that's just race 1.
And Wilkerson gets in. Aiden Walker goes to the duel. Contreras snuck on through. Man, I thought they were gonna wreck.
Well, dude.
And I feel for Burns, I feel for Movic, and I feel for all the guys that got wrecked because Truther had a mechanical issue. Unbelievable, unreal.
They have another shot. The LCQ still is there. Walker will start from the pole. Burns behind him. Movic. It's going to be already a star-studded LCQ.
And a lot of talk. They're going to continue to look back to see what happened. I'm listening to the chat. Fans excited, drivers ecstatic for the ones that made it. It was the Sweet 16 on the left side of your screen as we get ready for this second duel. We look and wait to see what's official. Unbelievable. And we're going to take a look at the starting grid here for duel number 2.
Well, and you got to keep in mind, too, usually the first race is the calm one.
That's true.
We have a storm of brewing in Daytona right now, and we're not even halfway through the night.
No. A lot of things to look at as we get ready to roll here again. I'm looking at the messages. We're keeping an eye on things. And we're going to continue to review it as we go ahead and look at it.
A lot of angry drivers right now after that race. A lot of relieved ones. Those guys who made it, you can take a deep breath, watch the rest of the night. You're done for the night. You're good. Probably the only time they want to hear they're done for the night.
Nothing. I want to make sure the Turzak situation is deemed good before we go ahead and try this one. Because now some are saying, I am getting also messages from other admins to still review it.
But as we roll out right now, we got Buttafuoco and Gucci. Those guys up in the front row, Real and Vila. I love these schemes too. The Sinclair scheme up towards the front. Frank DeAngelis, a fan favorite up there. Qualified, I believe, 6th for this race. Thurston beside him. Then you got Gavin Austin, probably the youngest driver in the field with Bowie. Then you got Brandon Planetto, Blue Jimmy in that Angry Birds car, and Shaq beside him for the top 10. And starting out, we got Todriff and Armstrong. Armstrong, great super speedway racer, somebody who led the most laps in the Daytona 500. Kenyon and Newbigging, Jua and Schmidt. Those are the guys that are now in the top 16. Behind them, Steinmeier, Cootie, Champagne, Balderas. You got Mitchum, Skipper, Lane Sanders, Dominguez, TCB way in the back, Drake Berry, Corlett, and Biggums. The 28-car field as we run now.
We're going to wait to go ahead and figure out who is where remember the top 4 that qualified on it, and we're trying to make sure we are good with that. It was Brumnett and Burrows. So we'll continue to go ahead and monitor that situation. Vincent Gucci. They're watching it. Everyone else is clear but the Turzak situation. We're going to wait to see what this admin has to say about it. We're going to keep it anonymous. Got 2 looking at it.
If I'm giving my thoughts, I thought it was an accident. I didn't think anything malicious of it. I didn't think it was really too bad of a move. It's what we see with this package.
And they're going to go ahead and give us the video.
We're watching it now, and ooh.
That doesn't look racing incident, at least from what I've seen. I've seen racing incident. That doesn't look racing incident.
That looks rough. That looks very rough.
That is not even close. That is a dump. Complete dump. And that means Walker would move in. Oh, that is really, really bad. I mean, we're going to wait to see what they say. We're just the broadcaster in this situation.
I'm glad I'm not the one making this decision. I'll just say that.
The problem is the viewers don't see it. I mean, they kind of saw a little bit of it.
But looking at some of you guys in the chat, too, yes, Darian is going to be in the LCQ. Remember, though, you guys do get to dictate a piece of the purse. We've had a few Super Chats roll in tonight. Half of the Super Chat money, half the money in general from this stream goes to the winner. And the winner pool already is $650, so we could have a ton.
LCQ Turzak. Walker is in. Race now official. From what I saw, you can't, that's not like a bad push gone wrong. That's the quarter panel. That's the entire quarter panel. So now Turzak has to go to the LCQ.
And he has a pass-through at the start of it, correct?
No, only Truther has that. Turzak gets to keep his spot.
Okay.
So Turzak will start front row for the LCQ. That's tough, but we told these guys you have to be smart up there. If you ruin someone else's chances, they heard it in the driver's meeting, that's how it goes.
And you know what all this does for the second duel? It just ramps up the anticipation.
We're going to put lights back on. We're going to let everyone know. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, if you're somebody in this field, you got another lap now under caution, or you're just waiting, you're nervous, you know the big show, you know everyone's watching, you got tons of people watching at home, and you got to wait a little bit longer to get rolling off. You see a lot of strong cars in this race, a lot of Fords, but unlike the last one, you don't see really any Fords lining up with each other. They're going to go around lights off this time, and I believe we'll be going green next time.
Yes, we're going green 100%.
Yeah. So, 1 to go to the green.
I mean, we didn't get to show the viewers that kind of saw one area. That was bad. Like, at least from my standpoint, because they saw the overhead view from a third-person view. That did not look good, in my opinion. It wasn't close. It wasn't like he barely got the quarter panel, the nose kind of clip. He got that rear end, and he laid it on him. And for Braden Movick, all right, you know, at least there's justice, but you also have to go into the LCQ. This is going to be tough. Now, 1 to go for Duel 2.
Yeah, we got to put all that in the rearview mirror because we got, like we've been saying, a lot of really, really tough customers in this race. Frank DeAngelis, he's up there. You know, Buttafuoco up there. You got a little bit in the danger zone. Armstrong in that 20, one of the best super speedway racers out there. New Bigging, Schmidt in that Chainsaw Man car, 15.
Well, should be interesting as we get ready to go green.
Man, if I'm one of these drivers, I'm just like, let's go. Come on. I don't know how they're keeping it together, but they got 50 laps to do it. And you got Buttafuoco on the front row here. If there's anyone I'm picking to win this race so far, it's got to be him. He's one of the most experienced drivers out there, one of the best.
And this will set the outside of the second row, and a lot of great guys. Champagne was in the first one. Now you got the other Champagne in the second one. Buttafuoco, Gucci. Gonna be a great line. And guess what? We get to stand up just one more time to see the green flag.
This will be the greatest battle for 6th position starting a race at the front, and probably one of the best races to try and get in at 16th.
Crowd on their feet, pace car down below. Let's stand up, line up, and light the fuse for Duel 2 at Daytona. Todd did not get going. Kevin Champagne on the apron in the back.
And that's going to bunch him up 3 wide already back there in that McDonald's car. But up towards the front, those top 18, 19, rolling off good.
Skipper still stuck 3 wide in the middle. He's got to find a way to the outside. Finally does. Michael Mitchum on the bottom. That's now lined up with Max Steinmeier. DeAngelis up the 4th. Real on the bottom in the 8 machine. Now giving a shot to the back end of the 13. Vincent Gucci rocking into the lead of the Sinclair Toyota.
That top side is flying starting out in this race. Already has a 6, 7, maybe 8 car single file breakaway. You got 3 on the bottom trying, but they're already having a pretty good push.
To lead lap number 1, Vincent Gucci gets it done. Toyota, Chevy, Ford. How about Frank DeAngelis back there in 3rd? That's what I want to watch out for. You know how many times he's won this summer? 0. Nada. Zippo. Done. And right now he's trying to get it done right here. He's got Brandon Bowie behind him. Now they had a little bit of an issue there in Speed Week. Little, should we say, fuss back and forth. Lined up inside the Fast 4. Holding on to themselves. They got Wolfshack back there in 5th. With now Buttafuoco on the bottom. Keep an eye on for that, as now Brandon Bowie's going to leave him downstairs.
Yeah, making the move down on the bottom of that Jeremy Mayfield 12th car. A little blink from Frank, though. And that's going to stack him up a little on the high side. That 12th car getting a run. He's going for 2nd.
Vincent Gucci on the outside lane will lead this lap again. Corlett towards the back end, now just crosses the start-finish line way in the back. Brandon Bowie downstairs, lined up with Dan. Buttafuoco just gave him a shot as the Chevrolets work downstairs.
Well, and that shot is working because it's got him barely to the lead.
Gucci on the outside, lined up now with Abraham Vila. Douglas Newbigging on the bottom side, a short track phenom. Here comes Joseph Armstrong, threading the needle in the middle. Daylight on the outside in front of Panetto.
And he's going to take it. Nope, they're 3 wide still. Now the 99, that Aflac machine, is left out to dry.
Wolfshack has to get back to the bottom. He has nowhere to run right now, so he may be formed towards the back end. James Thurston will find his way around. The Gavin Austin machine might let him in line. You see the difference right here. Does he get back down? He does. And it's almost like getting on from the entrance from an interstate. Are you going to let me in? Are you going to let me in? You got your turn signal on? Well, he gets back in line. They stay 2 by 2, lap 4.
What that does is it puts him right on that cut line. 15th on the board, right in front of Gavin Austin, who is right below the cut.
Douglas Newbigging on the bottom. William Schmidt locked in there, right to the rear end there of Douglas Newbigging. They've got it back wheel to wheel. Brandon Bowie there in 3rd. Abraham Vila back to 2nd. On the outside, thundering with DeAngelis right behind.
But a big push here with Buttafuoco and Real. They're on the bottom, pushing right behind Bowie. They're going to be right beside each other for the lead.
Vincent Gucci back to the line. Lap 5, he's got it. And he's one of the drivers that was worried about being nervous trying to make this event. You just saw how interesting it got back there, at least for Duel 1. That was with 17 drivers going for 16 spots. Let alone, they all made it due to a penalty on Turzak. That's something to keep an eye out for. Toyota, Chevy, wheel to wheel down off corner exit.
But it's double file all the way back through the pack now. They're all pretty orderly for a start in this race. They're 5 laps in. Up front, Gucci moving around a little bit. Vila looking low for a moment. Top 2 clear.
Gucci on the outside lane. Vila down on the outside lane as well. Gets a drive off as they now look back to the start-finish line. Gucci, Vila, DeAngelis, Bowie. Bowie downstairs, wheel to wheel.
And at that cut line now, Todriff moves in over Balderas. There's a lot of shuffling, a lot of 2, 3, maybe a little 4-wide racing. They get back to 2 by 2. But up front now, top 3 getting a run. That bottom line fading just slightly.
Abraham Vila lined in on that outside. Frank DeAngelis has got Joseph Armstrong in tow. Has got Daniel Buttafuoco now in tow as well. Panetto, Real, Newbigging, and Thurston on that outside as they continue to work their way back to 3 and 4.
Bowie getting a bit of a run, but Vila is going to try and get the run on the high side to push Gucci past him. They're beside each other, but the 16 car has a bit of clear, and in the middle, TCB with help from Kevin Champagne.
Vila there in 2nd, all over the back end of Gucci, just shoving his way forward as Vincent Gucci will continue to hold on to the lead. Kenyon, Schmidt, Thurston all lined in 2 by 2.
And now it's Gavin Austin. He's the one who will be in the back of that Wendy's machine.
Everyone else continues to hold on. So it's almost like what we saw in Duel 1. Okay, 2 by 2, hold it together. Don't make a mistake. Frank DeAngelis on the outside, lining with Joseph Armstrong. They're getting it going. The difference I see from this duel versus the last duel, not a lot of mistakes. Even early on, we saw a lot of that bumper clipping, trying to get guys wound up, trying to find a way on through. But right now, it's a little bit more set. It's a little bit more held on to as we get ready to try it again. Lap 8 out of 50 this time by.
They're taking advantage of seeing that first race, seeing the mistakes other drivers made. They're being aggressive, but yeah, there's not as much bump drafting. But Frank DeAngelis, with help from Armstrong, going for the lead.
He's got it made. Panetto on the outside, lined in with Kenyon. Kenyon and Panetto continue to swipe each other right from nose to rear. The outside lane is now going to get disconnected. Here comes Armstrong rocketing DeAngelis to the lead.
And he's got it. It looks like that bottom line is finally formed. He can go anywhere he wants, but he sticks with Joe.
Outside lane trying to get connected. Vincent Cucci, Abraham Vila now lines on in on that outside lane. Kind of got another disconnection. But back together they go. It's forward up front this time, lap 9.
And they're going to keep that run on the high side. Top 3 clear, but here comes Bowie on the bottom.
Kenyon back in 8th, Real back in 9th, Will Shack, James Thurston all lined in, Gavin Austin back in that 13th position lined up. Still Shack on that outside lane. Let's look at this. Big guys in, big guys out. Baker out, Steinmeier out, Balderas, Underdog out. And who's just in? Josh Kenyon, Panetto. Blue Jimmy has not ran up front a lot in NR9, having a heck of a start to this duel.
Very clean in that Angry Birds machine. 5th on the high side, right behind Vila. Falling back a little bit, but still in a good position.
Brandon Bowie on the bottom, wheel to wheel with Joseph Armstrong as Armstrong continues to be the ally. There to Frank DeAngelis. Those two have gotten into it before. And so we have a blink out. That 69 gets it back together. Got to keep an eye on that. They have now settled the beef, I guess you could go ahead and say, as they're working their way back to the high banks of 1 and 2.
Though Frank made an iffy move going down there and caused a bit of a checkup, they stay clean down the super stretch, and they stay even now as Bowie gets the push.
That's going to be Buttafuoco shot back to the rear end as they work their way back to 3 and 4. Kenny Real lines up. Abraham Vila lines up. Still 2 by 2. The sun is starting to set. It's not an area where it's sunset, but different conditions than what you had at the start of race 1. Still 40 laps to go.
But we're looking at 19th on up. Have a bit of a gap now. They're 3 wide behind the field, and it's slowing all of those cars 20th on back down.
Brandon Bowie, Vincent Gucci, Daniel Buttafuoco, Kenny Real, Panetto, Thurston, lined in, Josh Kenyon as well. We ride on board with the Powerade Chevrolet. Outside lane, we saw what happened in Duel 1. Not probably the best place you want to be if you want to avoid an accident.
No, not at all, but still, you're watching, they're keeping it clean still. 2 pretty organized lines, but Frank a little loose up front.
Still see DeAngelis on that outside lane. Joseph Armstrong, no shot to the back end. That outside lane gets a roller coaster ride. Off corner exit, that works oh so well. 11 laps in, now make it on to lap number 12 out of 50. So far, smooth, calm, top 3 on the outside have set it up, single file.
Early on, it's looking like that high side. Oh, wait, there's a car in the wall in the back. Might have been the 48, I couldn't see, but somebody is falling a little bit behind the pack there, and they're battling 3 wide again.
That's Jua.
And this is all outside the top 20. These guys can't stop racing against each other instead of racing forward.
It's interesting to see how this goes down. Jua on the outside lane, lined up with Skipper, lined up with Jeremy Cootie. Cootie is going to go back down to the inside. Jeremy Cootie's just hanging out. His son just won Duel 1. Let's have the Cootie sweep and try to get it there with Duel number 2. Buttafuoco on the bottom, Chevy on Chevy. Frank's got to fix that. If he doesn't and a caution comes out, it's an L1. He's got to drop to the rear. Keep an eye out for that. Trouble Jeremy Cootie down to the inside.
And he's falling all the way to the back, has it saved, keeps it rolling, but has lost the draft.
Completely. Yeah, he just lost it all on his own back there. Trying to go in and find a way to get back there as quick as possible. But you see it now, Matt Skipper, a lot of damage back to the rear end. He's got Lane Sanders. You know, we have not talked about Lane a lot here tonight. He's been known as a driver that gets in a lot of issues in NR Night in America, unfazed right to the outside lane.
That was a heck of a move there, and that gets him right up into that top 16. Great move by him. Barry looking towards the middle with a push from Skipper. Is Skipper going to go with him? Looks like he's gonna.
James Thurston up to third. Kenny Reel now up to second. Douglas Newbigging and company have still got it wadded up 2 by 2. There's a lot of damage to the nose of that 25. That's TCB. The entire nose has been ripped off. We ride on the rear end here of Abraham Vila. It's gone. See ya. I don't know how it happened. We didn't see debris on the racetrack, but someone's got a souvenir, and it's going to be even harder now for him to make it to the duels.
He's got to stay in that draft, though. He cannot lead a draft with a car like that. So far, so good, right on that line. But they're all dogging him, and there's a lot of less damaged cars behind him.
Joseph Armstrong going to block to the outside. He's going to lead this one as he works his way back to the start-finish line. DeAngelis in third, now lined in there with Vincent Gucci. Gucci's got it lined up and has not left that outside lane as Joe continues to try to find his way through. Bowie in second, trying to block each lane. Lined up, no change, back to 1 and 2.
He's trying to get low, cuts it close in front of Buttafuoco, going for the lead.
Vincent Gucci on the outside, still lined up with DeAngelis. Douglas Newbigging on the bottom, lined up there with the 4 machine. That's James Thurston, Sanders, Champagne, Shaq and Vila, all lined in, working lap 15 out of 50.
And you're starting to see the top line start to come apart a little bit. It's the bottom that's getting a little more dominant and organized. Coming back to the line, though, Armstrong going to try and get the run with Frank behind him, and he's got the lead. Both of them clear.
All got it back up 2 by 2. Panetto still trying to find that speed on the outside lane. He's got Josh Kenyon right with them. They have not changed for the last 16, 17 or so laps as we get to lap 17. Keep an eye on it. He's not going to go ahead and move, including with this lane change continuing, but you're already closing back to the halfway point. In a couple minutes, we won't be there. So you start thinking, okay, here's 16, Zach Todger, Kevin Champagne. Who has moved? Who has not moved? Who's just been sitting around trying to go ahead and make up time as we work our way back to 3 and 4?
Well, and you're seeing moves in the back. You're seeing them really close. It looked like maybe TCB and Steinmeier might have got into each other, but that's just a battle for 19th of all places. Up front, top 2 getting away, top side getting a bit of a run, and you're starting to see a strategy that a lot of these guys are employing. Park it on the top and don't move.
Daniel Buttafuoco on the inside lane. Brandon Bowie back downstairs. Vincent Gucci in third. You got Panetto. You got Kenyon. You got them all lined in on that outside lane. Still no big change. Another blink from Frank DeAngelis. It's getting really, really bad. I mean, not as much as we saw before. He's got to get it back solid. Because the caution comes out, we still see him blinking. He's going to have to go back to the rear.
Yeah, because at this point, the caution came out. It's hard to justify keeping him up towards the front with the rest of these guys racing. But through the pack, towards the top, it looks like Vila trying to make his way back up. He got shuffled to the back. He is just at the back half of the top 20. Now in the back 2, Gavin Austin, another fast driver, stuck all the way behind all these cars in that Wendy's machine. Up front, though, Armstrong, DeAngelis, and Gucci, they're clear of everyone.
Back down the back stretch, we continue to roll, and there's still discussion of what happened there. There might be a change again. Now they're questioning Netco. We continue to see, I still think Terzak completely out. Can't we still talk about Duel 1 here in Duel 2?
Oh, there's a wreck in the back. Someone's around in the back. Or at least got
was a save. A lot of damage there on Gavin Austin's 22 machine with the 47 Dominguez.
And they have lost the draft in the process of this.
Unreal.
See that 48 car lost the draft. Everyone trying to get back up to speed. You got about 4 cars back there. You have people to draft with, but that top 20 or so, they're gone. So long, you better hope there's a caution.
Keeping an eye on it. Thurston, Sanders, all lined in. Drake, Barry, Zach, Todriv as well. This is the back end of the field. This is up front as we continue back to 3.
And they're 3 wide towards the back of this pack. Leaders keeping it clean and green. But 3 wide towards the back. Can't see what it is, but it looks like they've left somebody out to dry. Might have been Todriv on that one. Yes, it is. And now he's going to get a little help too. Up front, top three, keeping it all together. Blue Jimmy staying with them.
Shaq up to 10, Thurston back to 11, Drake Berry back there in 12th. Those are drivers that will be in the cusp, but we haven't seen a caution. Green flag pit stops, maybe make or break for this duel. A complete sidewind to what we've seen back in duel number 1. Keep an eye on it.
Well, hold on, because it looks like towards the back, Vila is trying to lead the entire high side above these two lines. He has 4 cars now behind him. He's starting to get more. There's moves being made through the pack, and now you got Sanders trying to lead that pack.
Everyone else continue to watch on. Shaq,
Close.
2 by 2. They go. Oh, there they go. Douglas Snowbigging involved. That's Drake Berry into the outside wall, and the caution is going to wait with 30 to go.
And that's what all of those guys who lost the pack, that's what all those guys stuck in the back needed. And that's what all those guys up front just dreaded.
I think that 7's still going to have a shot at staying up the speed. He didn't hit it hard, but he definitely did get a kiss on the right side. Oh, man.
I don't think anyone's out of this race really yet. So you're looking at a full field coming all back together. I really didn't see if too many of anybody got lapped in any of this. So this is a whole new race all over again, kind of like the first one, where about halfway through you have the caution, people pit, they're good to go. Now, whole new race coming to the second half.
Okay, this is going to get a little bit drama-filled, and I expect a debate in the chat. We know it's going to happen. Here's what you get to see. He was half throttle when he hit the rear end of Braden Lubbock. He wasn't even full on. So it is a racing incident. He sent the what did Denny Hamlin send that one time?
The SMT data.
He sent the SMT down and said, "Excuse me, IDK Player and Iceberg and Athens. What do you mean I'm out?" Racing incident, Turzak in, Walker is out. That's the last time we're changing it. We're not talking about Duel 1 anymore. That's it. I am sorry to the viewers that might have thought something over the other, but you know what? Justice is justice.
We want to get it right.
We want to get it right, even if we made a couple mistakes on it. We're sorry to Turzak. Turzak is in the NWP 400 pit road open. We'll look back at the review after we see these green flag pit stops. Aiden Walker will be starting first in the LCQ.
And now we see all these guys bringing it on down. We're following Blue Jimmy, Brandon Panetto in that Angry Birds car. You got a couple others pulling on in now. And this is it. After this, it's just a full-on race to the finish. Gavin Austin pulling in. He's going to be able to catch up to this thing. Blue Jimmy out. There's Armstrong. And everyone's flying through.
And I believe Dan won the race off pit road. He did. Gucci, Panetto, and Real will be your fast four.
And with this, we reset all over again. Nobody is with the people they drafted with. And we have, again, a brand new race. We see Jua back up with everybody. We see Cootie back up with everybody. Sanders is there. So Frank DeAngelis back to 5th. Brandon Panetto up in the 3rd spot now. So Buttafuoco doesn't have anyone he was really drafting with. Interesting way to reset this race. Got Thurston up in the top 10. Shaq in that 99's back in the top 10. Armstrong up in 6th now. The guy in the cut line, Gavin Austin in the Wendy's Ford. Corlett, Jua, Cootie, and Sanders, your fastest 4 currently out of the race at the moment.
A lot of things going on behind the scenes. We're looking through a lot, so let's go ahead and look back on the wreck. That was the big thing, and we're going to see if we can get a good view on it. 3 wide. Oh, Vila.
Yep.
Worried about that with him on the super speedways. They even discussed it before pre-race. I think he got tagged by Baker.
Yep, he did. Hits the 36 down. And look at Schmidt. If we can follow Schmidt, I think completely missed that. And that chainsaw machine, pretty good looking car if I say so myself. But if we can go back and watch from Schmidt's view, he had a Code Brown moment probably in that car, because that was a knockout punch waiting to happen.
We're going to watch it back again. I know we're in a zoomed in area, but we're going to watch it once more. Right to the bottom. Everyone else goes to avoid. Mostly a 2-car incident, but I don't see New Bigging out of the race. I don't see Drake Berry out of the race. Matter of fact, I see them in a better position still than TCB, who doesn't have a nose. We've got lights off this time by and we're going to go ahead and get ready for the restart.
So 26 to go. Here's the rundown. Front row is Buttafuoco and Gucci. Pawnetto next to Kenny Reel in row 2. Then you got Frank DeAngelis and Joseph Armstrong. Then behind them, Balderas and Thurston, Kenyon, and Bowie, your top 10.
So they are calling another penalty report. Getting a little F1-ish here, I know. L1 TCB, it's a quick to the back end. He didn't have a nose, it's tough to push. With all the drama they had there with Duel 1, going in here, they're like, you know what, can we just focus on what is now with the race? L1 Baker goes to the tail on the longest line. We're hearing New Biggins still in the race, we're hearing Drake Berry still in the race. Let them go, because we're going to come to halfway here, and now it's go time to set the outside of row number 2, should we say let me say that, row number 3 on back as we get ready to go again. Toyota, Chevrolet, lap 23 out of 50.
And again, no manufacturer with each other in the Fast 4. Up front, looking like you got Chevy here, and yeah, okay, so there are 2 Chevys up front, but no Fords up there in the Fast 4. Toyota and Chevy as well. So it might get a little sketchy. We saw in the initial start some guys not go. It caused some problems in the back that probably led to that issue with TCB's nose. But coming out of the corner, we're going back green, lights are out.
Time to get it done. Toyota, Chevrolet locked in as we get ready to try it again. Fans back on their feet. Vincent Gucci trying to get that Cinderella story. The Toyota comes back to life. Lap 24 out of 50.
Amazing restart by Buttafuoco. Can get right up to that top line, and just like that, Blue Jimmy's on an island 3 wide because Armstrong's looking in the middle.
Oh, Paneto has to drop out of the gas, and that means Buttafuoco will dime it downstairs with Gucci in front of Joe. That's Armstrong now lined in there to 3rd. Kenny Reel up the 4th. We'll find James Thurston that will get locked in down the backstretch.
Top 3 had the textbook restart. Now it's looking like Reel's trying to reel him on in with the rest of that pack. He gets there looking on the bottom.
Everyone else continues the 2x2. Frank DeAngelis up to 5th. The 12 machine, Brandon Bowie back there in 6th. Tondra, Kenyon, Champagne, Will Shack, Ross Corlett, Sweet 16. Next time by, we'll see the halfway point of this race. And no one's in. Here goes the 48 Ajua. Up the nose to Skipper. Into the outside wall they go, and the caution will wave again.
And Calamity hits in the tri-oval. Looked like, I want to say Skipper looked in the middle 3 wide and the first contact was there. I don't think Skipper was at fault for that, but you're seeing the end result here.
Michael Mitchum damage. There's Drake Berry. Even more damage to the 36.
I thought Netcode saved him there. I don't think it did.
Max Steinmeier, the 10 there of Bigums, finding his way through. That's the 47 machine of Dominguez, and we get ready to try it again. Not a lot of catch your breath moments here tonight, have we?
There is damage on the side of that 2 car. Matt Skipper saw that tire bowed out, spoiler all messed up. That car, it's not going to run as well as it would have otherwise.
And let's go see what happened. Back towards the rear, a lot of damage there on the Drake Berry machine as they roll it back to the inside. Duel 2. A little interesting here, isn't it? 3 wide, let's see it. Matt Skipper lined up there in the middle. Netcode, yes, but why are you going in the middle that quickly? I don't know. I mean, you got to go for the gap, right? At the same time, and Netcode is something you worry about.
The gap was there for Skipper when he makes move. Watch him make the move. Sanders goes low. The gap's there, and then it's not.
The question is they're going to look at is, was he going to hit him to begin with? He was, but he wasn't going to hit him with the rear end. And watch the rear end just bump up. That was the big thing I didn't like about it. The rear end got up and into the air, which prompted the wreck. If he would have smacked him at the side, they would have been still going straight. You hit him in the rear end, that's where the Netcode impacted. So, I don't know, another issue. Another thing to look at. And Drew Jua will continue racing, but Michael Mitchum, a lot of damage there on the tide ride. That nose.
You just got to limp around and hope that enough cars wreck out for you. That's his hope at this point, because that car is total. Drake Berry going to match with TCB having no nose in this race. And all of a sudden, this race went from being the orderly race to the chaotic one in maybe, 5 laps?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. No penalties, net code. And for the ones that are watching back at home, come NWP, we're not going to be like this with the penalties, right?
No.
We're going to let them race. But it's like this because of the what-if factor. We're trying to control any overly done chaos to prevent oh, I'm 15th, I'm 14th. They'll only wreck the guy in front of me. I want to make the show. You right?
Yep.
I'm 16th, or I'm 17th, and they're 16th in front of me. See, you're off the nose, right? Trying to prevent that situation. And so far, even though it's been tough behind the scenes, I got to give the admins a big round of applause for looking through everything. Got to give everyone working on behind the scenes. It has really helped control the over-aggression. Skipper with that wreck, that should never have happened, right? The issue back there with Baker, that was also Vila checking him. Got in the back end. Admin said, you know what? Let it be. He's already back there to begin with. We're good to go. They're controlling this situation because the last thing you need is a big drama moment of someone turning someone, and then all of a sudden, it just goes horribly wrong. And for Drake Bear, I think this is his ticket to the LCQ as he is parked on the front straightaway, or the back straightaway.
Yeah, it's done. That car is toast, totaled, whatever you want to say it is. It is not running. And he is going to be out of this race. He's gone now, and they're going to continue on without him.
Let's get ready to try this one again. As we get ready to go green.
See Frank DeAngelo's on the bottom there.
Trying to save a little bit of fuel. Probably just going down there to begin with. But he's got Thurston behind. He's got Thurston behind. Have you heard what's happened recently with James Thurston and Frank DeAngelo's?
I don't know if he's going to be right behind him. He's right behind him on track.
On track for now.
They're going to be beside each other.
They're going to be waving at each other. Now, if you look back to Myrtle Beach, James Thurston did have a problem. Had to go to the tail end. Or was it Martinsville? Most likely Martinsville. Frank pulls up beside him, and yes, this isn't the sim, and it looked like someone letting someone else know who's number one.
Yeah, I was about to say, you really think that it's going to be a friendly wave, or it's going to be like a number one salute to him?
No, it's going to be one of those two. Well, we're going to get the one to go here. Joseph Armstrong, no surprise. He's up front. Same with Buttafuoco. What do you think of everything going down?
I think that, again, these front guys still are the ones keeping it clean. It's those desperate drivers in the back who are the damaged ones. They're the ones who are trying maybe overboard to get in. But the guys, like I said, Buttafuoco, Armstrong, Gucci, Real, Frank, Thurston, keeping it clean. Bowie's been really good. Panetto has been really strong. Schmidt slowly's made his way up. These front 9, 10, maybe 11 guys, they're the ones so far I'm trusting to make it because they're being pretty clean.
Well, guess what? This stream has gone by pretty quick, and we're getting ready to try this one again. Chevy Toyota, Joseph Armstrong, a quest for victory lane. It's on, and he's going to get ready to try it again. Frank to the bottom. I think that's to fix the internet. He has gone all the way to the inside wall, and he may be dropping back just to go ahead and check the settings. We're going to see if he gets back up there to start. 23 to go, comes 22 to go. We've got a lot in the making as we get ready to try this one again. Ladies and gentlemen, the one to go. James Thurston up to 5th. I like the odds. They're stacking up back there, getting back to the 2x2. Steinmeier, Cootie. It's all about what's up front right now. Will Shack, love it in 13. How about the Todd up there in 12? Vila Balderas, an underdog up in the top 10. Gotta give it to Panetto here. Still up there in 8th. He's gotta be worried about making this event, man. It's gonna be really wild coming down to the end of this.
But John, something that just happened with Frank DeAngelis going to the back like that. You just threw a wild card into there. You threw a bull in a china shop into the middle of this field. But pace car's off, we're going back green.
Time to get it done. Some drivers already locked in. Let's see how this goes. Chevy, Toyota back wheel to wheel. 22 to go from Daytona.
Another great restart for Buttafuoco right up in front of Armstrong. Now on the bottom, Gucci looking for more.
He's trying to get it done. Still 2x2 as they work their way to the high banks of 1 and 2. Real downstairs. Thurston downstairs. Bowie. Schmidt. Here comes Schmitty out of the cannon to the outside.
And now we're seeing behind him is Blue Jimmy, someone who's been up front, but another poor restart from Panetto puts him further back. He's trying to recover. Schmidt now giving the push to that 16 Sinclair.
Joseph Armstrong has caught a buddy and said goodnight as he catches the train to the outside lane. Toyota, Chevy, Toyota. It's been the Toyota-thon here tonight as you've got 3 up inside the Fast 4.
And right behind him, another Toyota up there. But down on the bottom, Real flying up towards the front, getting the push from Thurston and Bowie.
Big guns up inside the top 20, first time tonight. Kenyon back to 13th. They're flirting with that Sweet 16 line as they've got it 3 wide already. Kenyon on the outside. Sanders in the middle. Bullet Train right behind him. Drivers just trying to stay in the draft.
And again, Skipper used the middle this time to get himself into the top 10. And pushing further to the back is a lot of other guys who are really fast. Kevin Champagne, Cootie, Austin, all of them fighting right on that cut line.
Here comes Armstrong on the inside lane, lined up with Real. Real's got a shot. Joe to the outside. Now they're going to be back middle wheel. Just 20 to go in duel 2.
Blue Jimmy left out to dry in the middle. He has nobody with him. He's falling and falling fast.
He's got the last boat out of paradise, and he's going to drop the 15th, 16th, maybe 17th, and outside the cut line. Blue Jimmy's got the brace here as he's back 2 by 2.
And now Lane Sanders has been left out to dry. He's beside Frank DeAngelis, who's trying to mad dash at the front with 20 to go.
Sanders in front of Balderas. That's going to be a squeeze. Joyner, let me rephrase that. That was the 48 machine of Chu on the bottom. Still 3 wide, no one giving in.
And now look at Frank all the way up to 19th. Contact still with these guys in the back, but the fight is on towards the front. DeAngelis now beside Austin.
Someone had to yield. Both of them did not. They finally got it back together. 19 laps to go. Here comes Bowie to the outside lane there in third. We'll have a Toyota behind him of Joseph Armstrong. 19 laps to go. It's dialed to 11 as they work their way back to 1 and 2.
We had some movement from Skipper again back there. He has TCB behind him, this time with the nose.
Everyone else still 2 by 2. Max Steinmeier, Gavin Austin, Josh Kenyon, Frank DeAngelis, Panetto back to 16th, and Frank will steal that spot right from him. He's now in. Who's out? Panetto, Steinmeier, Kenyon, Chua, all trying to track their way in as laps start fading.
Panetto has been in the show all night long. Now come money time, 19 to go. He's got to fight his way back towards the front. Up front, though, Kenny Real and that 8 car leading them just like Dale Jr.
Jeremy Cootie up to the 11th, 12th, 13th. Baker back to 14th, trying to go ahead and get it done. Panetto back in 16th now. Everyone chases Brandon Bowie to the outside of 1 and 2.
They're all even up towards the front, everyone beside each other, but it's Bowie with the run down the super stretch.
He's got it rolling. How about the 16 of Vincent Gucci, Schmitty, Shaq, Skipper, and Baker locked in back to 11th. You got Cootie, DeAngelis all fighting on that cut line, but at the same time, it's Joseph Armstrong leading the way down off turn number 4.
With a great move, top to bottom, gets the lead, leads the bottom. Now he's left out by Real, who's going to lead this lap.
Kenny Real is going to get it at the line. He's got it, 17 to go. He's got Thurston in tow. He's got Vila also trying to make something work downstairs. 2 by 2, back to the banking of 1 and 2.
And that 8 car getting pushed by a Ford again. That's going to be to his advantage. But Armstrong with the run and Bowie behind him gets up to the front.
This crowd has not sat down with 17 laps remaining. Brandon Bowie has got it all right to the back end of the Toyota. Joseph Armstrong leads. 2 Chevrolets back behind. Matt Skipper, Kevin Champagne, Baker, Cootie, Bigums, all trying to get it done as they work their way off corner exit.
And they're still even among each other. Real barely ahead, but now the push gets to Armstrong. Armstrong keeps the lead, leads the lap. Bowie now gets ahead of him.
Here they come back off the short chute and heading their way back to 1. It's Toyota, Chevrolet, Bowie to the inside. Bowie down with Real. Brandon Bowie, new race leader with 16 to go.
Not for long, because up top, Armstrong gets the push now from Buttafuoco.
Trying to go in and make something work. Push comes the shove.
Oh,
there he
around!
goes. That's the 12 to the inside. Brandon Bowie with the slide off the nose of Kenny Real. Does he get it refired? Depending on how it goes, they're calling it no caution. And the same thing that happened in Duel 1 strikes in Duel 2.
And we're going to have people on that immediately. But up front now, Armstrong and Buttafuoco are clear. They race on without the 12.
Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, they're staying consistent tonight with how they're happening, but it's going to go to bring more drama as the laps start fading. What does Botafuco do? Lined up with Joe on the outside lane. Gucci downstairs with the reel, still 2x2 as they work their way off 2.
And Skipper, who was just in that last caution, is in the top 5 in this race up on the high side. He's in 4th.
Gavin Austin 15th. Zach Todriff downstairs now takes that spot away. DeAngelis in. Kevin Champagne on out. Sanders, Balderas, company about as they work their way off corner exit this time by.
Top 3 once again are clear of the pack. They can go where they want. They keep it up top. Down low, it's Gucci trying to lead the bottom line with help from Real.
15 to go brings 14 laps to go this time by, and TCB has clocked his way into the top 6. Bigham's back to 8th. Thurston now swipes into the elite. Now they work their way to 1 and 2, but no one has found a way around the 20.
But that 16 is inching towards the front now beside Schmidt for 3rd. He's got the push from the 8 and the 4 as they go down the super stretch once more. Coming to 3, it's another push, 32, lap car down on the bottom.
Baker just gave a swing to the rear end there, the 2 of Matt Skipper, and he just hit him so square that he's punched the back end of the Miller Lite 4. They've all got it still lined up, but look at the damage here on the 2. Maybe tough to push later on in this race. Toyota holds reign in duel 2 with 13 to go.
With that push, it's amazing what having a nose will do for a car. Is Baker now back in the top 10 and 8th? A lot of movement through the pack now with 13 to go.
Baker 8th, Vila 9th, Will Shack. Bigham's now in.
But it'll go around.
Right in the middle of the field. Baker
one.
is in it. Will Shack gets tagged. More machines involved. That's the Frank DeAngelis machine on the inside. That looks to be Gavin Austin. Max Steinmeier. The 01 Elaine Sanders as well. Drew Jua is in it, and it just exploded off turn number 2.
It was up towards the front. They were so close. Botafuco looking for that run on the high side next to Armstrong. They just got too close, and the big one finally strikes.
We're going to have a stacked LCQ if it's going the way it's looking.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, we are. But look how this shuffles up the field. Bigham's wasn't in it. Now he is. Cootie now in 12th up in it. Cornetto.
Steinmeier. Oh, man. I just hate it for him, man. He keeps missing it through these duels because of these wrecks. And Jumpman not going to be able to go ahead and be happy about that one. We maybe restart with, what, 10, 9 to go? Let's go look back on it now as the crowd comes to life.
Up front, that's where it started. That's the safest place to be. It's still not safe. This still is Daytona.
Continue to look for it. We're going to slow it down on the outside lane as everyone else continues to go ahead and find their way back to their seats.
It's for the lead.
Schmidt, boom. That's tough to pick. Well, I'm saying it because look at the speed difference.
But you didn't see how close was it with the 20. It could have just been a pinch right there, too. Look how close they are going through this corner with Botafuco here. Because he makes the move up top. Joe holding his line, giving him not much of an option, but that's what you got to do up there. Look how close this is here. Was there contact? There was contact.
Net code.
Yeah.
It's all net code.
Which, to me, I don't see how that's the 79's fault. It's
definitely not the 20's fault.
It's just a racing issue. Wow, that 8 car barely gets by through the pack. Schmidt's in it.
Will
Skipper
Shack got air.
Oh, there's Blue Jimmy. He gets a little damage in this in that Angry Birds machine. Gavin Austin, nowhere to go. Frank gets pushed out of it. Shades of the Daytona 500 we had. Even when he's involved in a wreck, he doesn't get anything from it. What a stroke of luck for that 69 car. But now, yeah, this LCQ will be stacked if these guys can't make their way up. That 48 car just can't get away from the problems today. And I'm seeing just the replay here. So many good cars caught up in that.
Kenny Real, man. And his teammate, Brandon Bowie, is probably smiling now. He wasn't smiling before. You just see the net code right here. At least we were about to see the net code right there. Let's watch it from this angle. Watch the 13. This is in full speed. Watch how much just stops. Boom. That little contact right there Set it up. That's 2 netcode issues. It's a worry with the Gen 6.
And Baker lost nose. He's going to have more nose jobs than Joan Rivers after tonight.
He got the nose back when he came down to pit road. They had a spare there. I guess they were just ready because they, his team probably knows him very well. So, now they might need another one. I don't know if they're going to get it back.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to be able to get it back. They just get me on pit road for a little while. Well, who's left? Let's go take a look. Barry's on pit road. Baker's on pit road. The thing is, it's probably best for Muvik to have Baker on pit road. Did you see what happened at Talladega a couple streams ago of that Super Speedway?
I saw that.
I mean, it was patty cake from lap 1 to the checkered flag. I expect them to work together. Daniel Buttafuoco, didn't he miss the NWP last year after winning 2 eTicket events?
Yeah, qualified 47th.
Matt Steinmeier gets his car back going. As we continue to go ahead and look at how this goes down. Will Shack, Zach Todriff, Frank DeAngelis, Brandon Bowie is back. And we will try this again. Pit road still clustered full of machines. There's going to be the 48 of Drew Jewett. This is going to be a huge LCQ. So many big names, only 4 can advance. Oh, man. That's scary.
It's going to be dramatic. That's what it's going to be. There's a ton of drama building up here because now not only do you have a bunch of desperate drivers towards the back, you have a bunch of desperate drivers with a ton of damage on their cars towards the back, which is going to make it even more crazy. And we saw earlier, you're only that one driver that gets taken out like Bowie was, who probably is the biggest benefactor of this. Your race might be done.
Well, we got 10 laps to go, working 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Coming 9 to go this time by. You're not going to have a lot of laps to make up time. Bowie outside as of now projected. Sanders, Todriff, DeAngelis. Let's continue to go ahead and look back to see who's out. Buttafuoco, Will Shack, William Schmidt, Mitchum. There comes Baker now back in 26. Drew Jua and company as we get ready to try this one again.
But up front, Gucci and Armstrong still keeping it going. They're the guys who have been the cleanest all race. Real and Skipper, of all people, behind them in row 2. That might be a Ford nose, but it sure is not the best Ford nose to have behind you.
Not at all. It's holding on, but let's just say barely. Remember how the end of Duel 1 was? Just 17 guys going for it? Well, as of right now, drivers on the lead lap, we have, if I'm not mistaken, 27 going for the 29 that went ahead and entered this duel.
So 9 of those 27 will go to the LCQ tonight. But as we look at it, lights off. Looks like we're going green this time.
Gucci, Armstrong, Kenny Real, Matt Skipper all lined in. Let's get ready to try it again one more time from Daytona. Joe on the outside will have Matt Skipper in tow. They've got it all lined in, heading down to turn number 1.
Even start by him, but now the outside gets formed up. You saw Armstrong go up there. Kevin Champagne up there. Now you got Blue Jimmy getting a much better restart this time. On the bottom, Gucci and company falling back.
Ross Corlett trying to find his way in the Sweet 16, trying to bump Lane Sanders. Dominguez, New Bigging, Bigums. Joseph Armstrong's got help from behind, and he's going to try to leave every single line at bay. That's Kenny Real back to 5th. Everyone's trying to pick their lane to work with, working their way back to 3 and 4.
Still, Armstrong is tough up front. Gucci, though, underneath them with the push from Real. They're side by side for the lead once more, but looks like Skipper going to push the 20 out to first.
He's got right now the 5 machine of Abraham Vila right in tow. James Thurston back to 7th. Kenny Real back there in 6th. Everyone trying to pick a lane as you got the 13 going through the middle. There goes Dominguez trying to get it done as well, as Buttafuoco has no one to work with. Slots right behind the 69.
And in that line, you have 3 good cars. DeAngelis back there. Buttafuoco back there. And Schmidt also. All 3 of them in the LCQ as we run.
Here comes Kevin Champagne right to the inside. Vincent Gucci will be right in tow with him. No change just yet for the rest of the machines as they work their way off corner exit. Here comes Real, Big Guns, Champagne, 2x2, just 7 to go.
And there's still that fight back there. Bowie now under the line as well. There's tons of fast cars and good drivers out of it. Up front, though, they are dead even for the lead. Kevin Champagne, though, getting the push.
The Magic Man to the inside gets it done. Champagne from the back to the front brings Ford top of the board. Swipes top side, locks in with Armstrong. Champagne trying to go ahead and win this duel. He's got Skipper and company behind. The question is who gets aggressive off turn number 4.
Well, now those top 3, as has been much of this race, are out front ahead of him. Vila now is clear. He could make a move. Pawnetto to the top 5. The bottom line stacking it up.
Everyone else still working together. Back to the line. Joseph Armstrong lined in with the Ford. 1 in front, 1 behind. Look at the damage on that Skipper as they work their way back to 1 and 2.
Still, it's a little engine that could up in the front and third. They're lining it up now, though. Top 6, even with ahead of everyone, actually.
Douglas Newbigging, we right on board with him. This is all the way back in 7th. A lot of machines, single file. You got Dominguez in 8th. You got Gavin Austin back to 10th. No one has made that swipe back forward. Vincent Gucci may be in trouble here soon. 9th, Gavin Austin. 10th, Kenny Reel, James Thurston, Ross Corlett have got it all lined in coming to 5 laps to go.
Yeah, that top line is so organized. It's just a freight train. Gavin Austin passed him for 9th. Top 9 are out. It's side by side for 10th position, 3 wide towards the back.
Matt Skipper in 3rd, Panetto back to 5th. Bigham's trying to get it done. That's the fly guy on the outside lane. From the back to the front, that number 10 machine has cracked that top 8. Trying to go ahead and creep on back forward. Skipper there in 3rd. Trying to go in and wait it out. Remember, he's in. He is good to go, but these drivers in jeopardy. Balderas, DeAngelis, and they're starting to go ahead and dogfight it out right through the center of the corner.
And that bottom line is starting to gain some cars. As you look, DeAngelis is outside of it. He needs to make a move. He goes on the bottom in front of Todd. Oh, there's a spin. 10-car round. Cootie's in it. And the big one strikes in the tri-oval.
1 gets airborne. That's the 7 of Douglas Newbigging. And Biggums is out of the race completely. The nose taken off the 10 machine. Zach Todriff's another one involved. Dominguez is out. William Schmidt in this one again. And with 4 laps to go, we might be seeing overtime for the first time tonight.
I think we are. And the question, I think, is how many cars are left? Because if any of those wrecked cars are ahead of Schmidt, his car looks pretty good for the most part compared to a lot of them. He might still be in this thing.
Well, you can catch your breath. This has been a high-octane, high-energy duel that both of them have.
Duel, this has been
But Duel 2 has been on a different level.
The first one was a duel. This is a death match.
Should we say probably a battle royale?
I think we've exceeded that limit.
And we get ready to try it again. You look at the damage there from Biggums. He hit that thing way too hard. I saw smoke come out. I think he's done. Jeremy Cootie. We'll have to go ahead and see his way most likely in the LCQ. Zach Todriff. Nowhere to go. A whole lot of damage on that 54 machine. And the trio right here may be out of it. I want to see who doesn't have damage. There's Newbigging down on our left side of the screen. Max Steinmeier, 18th, he's good. Schmidt went for a slide. Dan is still very much in it with Bowie, so we are going to have a battle to see who gets in or not.
That 7 car doesn't have a front or rear bumper. That thing is just sheet metal.
Man, we're going to have one tough LCQ. These are the guys bringing us down. Let's see the replay again. Newbigging just took out the 10, and there was nowhere to go.
Well, he got up in the air. That'll take off most of your car when you flip.
And we're going to watch it again. Let's go ahead and see what really sparked this. That's the big thing. We're going to go from the top of the screen. Biggums is in line. Newbigging just clobbers him. Just look at the nose of that 7 machine, how it moves.
It starts up towards the front. You see the top side started to stack up, and everyone just kind of got into each other, and that's finally where the accordion just tangled. But watch, he just up in the air.
Got squeezed.
Kind of reminiscent, didn't get into the catch fence, but a Kyle Larson back in 2013 at Daytona.
Yeah. Jeremy Cootie trying to do what his son did in Duel 1. Will not be able to get this one here. Zach Todriff. A lot of these guys have to start preparing for that LCQ. It's a 20-lap dash for 4 spots. That's the big thing. We're going to overtime. Here in duel number 2, Champagne, Armstrong, Gucci, Skipper, that's your fast 4. Real, Vila, Thurston, Paneto, Balderas, New Bigging, Kenyon, Austin, DeAngelis, Bowie, Buttafuoco, and Schmitty up inside that top 16 as we get ready to try it again.
So you're going for the win if you're the guys up front, or at this point with how chaotic, how just much of a wreck fest it's turned into, do you just keep it straight and get to the finish? Get in the race.
I'd say you go for the win because it's instinct. Kevin Champagne knows he has to be in the Sweet 16, but do you think Champagne's going to see Armstrong go around the outside like, it's okay, Joe, I'll get you Tuesday? No, he's going to block him. He's going to shove him. He's going to rub him because that's how the Champagne boys do it. Yep. They know how to get aggressive. Skipper, he hasn't won in a while. I know he's going for it. This counts as a win. I know it's a duel, but for NR Night, it is a win. Thurston, Paneto, Balderas still looking for his first win based off of not a qualifying race back there in 9th. I don't know, man. This is going to get really tough, but as the lights get ready to turn on, as the sun starts setting, we get ready to do that one thing and one thing only. Sound the siren. It's the one to go. And everyone watching around the world gets ready to see who makes it in, who doesn't. Late afternoon conditions here from Daytona. And I saw a lot of angry text messages already in Duel 1. I think you saw it too, peeking over. Duel 2, I'm expecting the same exact thing, but that's just the format. That's how it is. Drivers have said how nervous they get during these duels. Viewers, well, they love it. Get the popcorn ready. You got 2 laps to go to get it done.
I love it at this point. Listen, green-white checker, finishing this race, a lot of desperate drivers. I would not be surprised if we're having to parcel through a giant wreck at the end of this race for who is the 16th place guy and 17th place guy, because at this rate, somebody's going to wreck their way in.
Ford on Toyota, and it's been intense to even make this race. The top 4 in qualifying nearly tied. Nearly tied. I mean, you got to go to the farthest 0 possible. And then here you are now, getting ready to try it again. For these guys in Duel 2, you don't make it, you start the car right away, get the backup out. But for the guys in Duel 1, they've had the time to breathe. Say, all right, you know what? We know we're in the next duel. Let's figure this out. Ford on Toyota. Fans getting ready to get back up on their feet. Champagne trying to get it done. Joseph Armstrong trying to get it done. Pace car makes a hard left onto pit road. Let's go green. 2 to go for the World Center of Racing. Armstrong, Gucci on the bottom. Matt Skipper on the outside lane needs help from the 5.
Big shuffling in the back. New Bigging didn't go. There's a lot of different drivers just trying to find their way in line, and the one left out to dry up front, Vila, but DeAngelis going with him.
Vincent Gucci downstairs, lined up with Armstrong. Everyone else holds on to that 2x2, trying to make it work. Balderas wants to block, can't get it done. There's DeAngelis lined in tow with the 5.
They're all lining it up now. A lot of shuffling towards the back. The one in, Bowie. The one out, Corlett.
Here comes Armstrong. Off corner exit, they get to the white flag. This race is official. Drivers trying to shuffle for that last transfer spot. They're gonna make it back. Santa Blanca, 1 to go for Duel 2.
Look towards the back. Frank DeAngelis left out to dry on the high side, and he has fallen back little by little. It's gonna be tight. Gavin Austin with the run up top with a push from Bowie.
He's 15th, Mitchum 16th, now out. Lane Sanders trying desperately to make this race. Zach Tondreff, Michael Mitchum. It's going to be a brawl back to the start-finish line between these 5-6 machines.
Bowie's got the spot, but not the draft. Mitchum going to get the run right underneath them. Side by side again through 3 and 4. There's dicing up towards the front.
Who's going to make the move? Joe is there. When do you make that move out of line? The 94 Champagne holding on. That's going to do it. Maybe not. Armstrong to the outside. Drag race the line. Joseph Armstrong victorious from Daytona as they all wreck behind him. Ross Corlett is out. Zach Tondreff is out. And Lane Sanders just made the show.
We got to see a replay of that wreck, see how it ended out. Schmidt back in 19th. He'll be in the LCQ if everything stays the same.
Well, we got to review it. There was a wreck.
Let's see it.
And we're going to see that one first. Get things rolling. Joseph Armstrong. What a move, my man. They're already going to start warm-up, so that gives us the time to look back at what happened, how it happened. A lot of drama, a lot of controversy as well. To see what happened back there, this is going to be it. Back to the start-finish line, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe what has happened here tonight as we get ready to try this one again. Watch it here. Transfer spot, Lane Sanders in the 01.
Oh, that 32. He's below the yellow line, causing a crash.
He did.
That was something we talked about in the drivers' meeting tonight. That's going to save Blue Jimmy, I think.
But Lane Sanders was the last one. Did they fully wreck? He's clearly below. He did hit Todd.
That's influencing the finish of the cut line 4 wide. That took out 3 of those 4
Michael
cars.
Mitchell might not be in the LCQ. We've talked about that before.
If we're going by what we had precedent-wise, no. He's not. He is not going to be in the main. He'd be in the LCQ.
So Panetto made it. Lane Sanders.
Yeah, Panetto's safe. He's the safe one in this picture.
And Lane Sanders. This is the finish right here. And that would have made Mitchum was in as well. You can't wreck guys going below the line. That is the deal. But we have the 5-minute warm-up, so we can go ahead and look at it. We're going to have them review Michael Mitchum. It could be an L5 out or an L1, but they're saying it too.
Yep.
Mitchum did wreck Todd.
It looks almost unanimous. Like, I get that it might be an accident, but we were clear. You can go under the yellow line in this race, but if you cause a crash or cause somebody else not to make it or influence that finish,
because Todd
you're done.
was in. Todd got it. Like, he was.
Yeah, so what would the penalty be for that at that point? Would he be in the LCQ or is he just done?
Well, the way it works is in NR night, yell 5 someone for wrecking below the yellow line. Todd missed it because he wrecked him. It was a shot. It was a slide. And it's going to be very, very interesting. Give me one moment. LCQ, some notable drivers. Mubik, Burns, Schmidt, TCB, Drua, Max Brady, Walker, Lyons, Darian, Oak, Douglas, Newbigging. And we're going to tell them to advance.
It is going to be wild because this was 50-lap duels, 125s. We did it like the old Gatorade 125s. This is 20 laps. It's like the original
L5.
Clash.
Michael Mitchell can't do it. I mean, you called it.
Yeah. There's no way around it. He caused the wreck that influenced the transfer.
So Zach Todriff is in.
Which I think is right. He didn't cause the wreck. Listen, if somebody is there under the yellow line already, don't go below that person. If you're going 4 wide, second car on the bottom under the yellow line, you're going in knowing you're going to wreck. I know it's desperation, but that influences the finish.
This is it. 20 laps of thunder to see who makes it on in to the NWP 400. This is it right here, right now. Your top 4 advance. Walker, Muvik, Steinmeier. All these drivers are lined up with a shot at getting it done. Gilliam. They're all going for just 4 spots. I don't know how many drivers have stayed for this moment. Obviously, the left side of your screen. This is just based off of, what happened.
They're in. They're in this race.
Yes.
Like, they're in the main.
And the best part about it, all 6, remember how we talked about maybe 60 might join in? They have Kudia starting first because we disqualified the top 4. If you made it to the LCQ, you are here. We do not have to make another session. Let's ride. And we're not waiting around. The second they roll off, it is 1 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's set the final 2 rows of the NWP 400.
And let us know in the chat, who makes it? Who is in the Fast 4 at the end of this race? There are some very, very, very good drivers in this race. You see some of them on screen now. Bubik, Schmidt, see Steinmeier there.
And Aiden Walker will be on the front row. And they're going to line up Ross Corlett, Spencer Burns, and so many other guys now working their way off. Got well over 20 going for it. And we're going to go ahead and set sail here in just a moment's time. David Joyner, Jeffries, Lyons all heading out. Gilliam, Shack, Jua, Dominguez, Greenwood. Let's do it. This is it. The guys left are the guys left. And this is what it comes down to. We're going green this time by, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and see who makes it in.
Well, the difference between this race and any of the other races tonight is you don't have that buffer room of the top 16. If you're running 5th, you're out of this race. You're out of the main. So you really cannot feel safe until the final, honestly, till you hit the finish line. Not even the final corner, not even onto the tri-oval, because somebody like Muppet, who's sitting 5th, 6th right now, him being out, but Spencer Burns being in, well, he's going to make that move on Spencer. He's not going to go with him. He's not going to hope the line pushes. So you're going to see even more desperation out of this.
Well, drama, anticipation is now all here. This is it, the final race of the night. What do you think happens? Because there's a lot to talk about.
I think we're going to see somebody in the pack. Someone, maybe not even in the top 10 right now, make it because of something that happens up front. We could see fan favorites wreck each other out with not even 10 to go. There's so many possibilities we could see here.
Let's ride right here. Pace car makes a hard left onto pit road. This crowd has stuck around with us to see who will get it done. Eric W. gifting 5 more memberships. Let's get loud. One more time. The Chevys lead us down. 20 to go. 20 to start. It's the LCQ as we light the fuse. Already getting dicey back there. New bigging. Trying to get that thing all wound up. Got Corlett leading on that outside lane, lined up with Schmidt.
Both lines, though, get equal starts. Good starts out of them. A little shifty, though. And as they go through 1 and 2, it's going to be Walker with the push to the front.
Trying to get it done downstairs. There's no time to sit and wait. Schmidt has just got it locked to the back end of Corlett. He's got that movement right back forward. Mubik downstairs, lined in with Burns. Walker on the bottom side. This top 4 is in. Keep an eye on it. Back to 3 and 4.
But they're still shuffling up towards the front because Corlett is getting the push from Schmidt now.
You got to watch out with that 42. If he gets that 25 working together, it's going to all work out. Baker on the outside, lines up with the 10 machine. Back to the line, 18 laps to go.
And that top line going single file now. All 4, 5 of the top guys, they're clear.
Trying to roll their way through. Baker on the inside lane. Steinmeier back on that outside. Max Steinmeier is able to get something woven together. Mubik shuts the door there on the 48 of Jua. They need to work together. That's an ally.
Yeah, Mubik has fallen way back since the start. The bottom line now being led by Baker. TCB down on the bottom. The 10 looks down. That's Bigums, but doesn't have the move.
Ross Corlett, William Schmidt, all lined in. Oh, there goes Gilliam on the outside lane. David Joyner involved as well as the caution will wave, and that might spell doom, gloom, checkmate for the 91 machine.
That is a hard hit into the outside wall by Darian. I think that's going to be it for him. Even if he gets back going, he's going to be outside the top 20.
No. Man.
But again, another shuffle up front. Another fallback for some good guys like Mubik outside of the top 10 now as we run. Or right around there. Not good enough.
No, and they're going to get this thing refired right away. If this thing does not look great, optimistic, let's look back to see what happened. This is way in the back, 3-1. That's all.
That's just a bad move. I don't know where he was going.
He didn't get hit. He just went up.
He was the one hitting.
Oh, I feel bad for David Joyner, man. He's about to become a pro wrestler, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Well, he just got body slammed right there.
I think they were both going to the same real estate. If you look at it again, you see Joyner is coming down, but Darian is a dart, though, to the outside. Well, I mean, you can't blame anyone else, right? You know?
Yeah. That's all she wrote for Darian, I think.
Oh, man, unbelievable.
But man, we still got a ton of racing left to go.
Yeah, well, that's 2 machines involved. I think they're giving us the good to go here soon. You still got the yellow out. And lights are still on that pace car. Gilliam coming on in. I think we see the 1 to go this time by. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. They're making this thing quick. They want to know who's in, who's out. Lights out this time by for the 2-car incident.
Well, and we need as much green flag racing as possible. We need as much time for these guys
To move forward.
Yeah, to move forward, possibly to get shuffled back. You don't know. But I mean, we've already seen a big shakeup with these front guys. Now the 2 that are out, Biggums and Walker. Walker started on the pole in this event. He is currently not 1 spot out, but 2.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Mother back in 11th, Armstrong up to 10th. If it ended now, it would be Baker, Steinmeier, Schmitty, and Corlez, your fast 4.
It's gonna get
There's too many great drivers for 4 spots that I'm looking at here. And there's going to be a headline that says this guy gets bumped. No, the Indy 500, you're thinking, wow, did this guy really not make the event? Are you kidding me? We had it last year. And we're for sure having it this time. I look at New Bigging. I look at Jewel. I look at Mubik, Shat, Cootie. Well, that's Jeremy Cootie. Burns, Steinmeier, Baker, Schmidt. They got to make it in.
Look at New Bigging. He's all the way back in 20th. He has to make up 16 spots in 16 laps. And it's been proven to be difficult to make your way through this pack without a lot of help.
Let's get ready to go green.
Lights are out. It's Corlett, Schmidt, Steinmeier, Baker, and Biggums, the fast 5. Followed by Walker, Burns, Cootie, Shack, and Armstrong.
Chevy on Toyota, Schmidt on the outside lane. Corlett, Steinmeier, Baker, fast 4, Biggums, Walker, Cootie, Burns, Armstrong, Shack, top 10. Let's get ready to try this thing just one more time. Fans back on their feet. Toyota, Chevrolet, 16 laps to go in the LCQ.
And the big restart wasn't from the leader. Schmidt on the high side, but Baker gets it, and he's going to clear.
Trying to get it done, William Schmidt heading your way to the high banks of 1 and 2. Has it all lined in as the bottom lane starts coming apart. Will Shat can't go anywhere. Mubik can't go anywhere. Walker sliding in with Baker, and TCB rockets into second.
High line getting the push. Now Burns is in this race. Armstrong with them, and that's Person right back there in the 41.
Mitchell Armstrong back in 5th. Nathan Lyons in 7th. Everyone thunders to the outside of 3 and 4.
And they have left those bottom guys to dry. Now on the bottom, that 41 of Person trying to lead them all back up, but it's gonna be a task.
Tyler Tinsley, 9th, shuffling, swaying, trying to make a move. 15 laps to go from Daytona as Michael Mitchum is just 1 spot away from making the event. Burns will be the last one in line. 1 Ford, 2 Chevys and a Toyota.
And Walker has made his way back up to 3rd in the back. They're 3 wide, maybe 4 wide, trying to make moves towards the front.
Lions in 6. Big breakaway there from Tyler Tinsley. Remember, Tinsley was involved in that first incident in Duel 1. Has it grabbed in a gear. He looks to the bottom. Tyler Tinsley to the point to 3 and 4.
And he has help from Dominguez, who's behind him too. That bottom line is coming back.
And he's got the conga line ready to work with them. The lone Canadian. That's Wesley Person in line. Braden Mubik 3 wide. Trying to make the move to the outside lane.
But nowhere to go just yet. He has the push behind that 83, but nowhere to go with it.
Everyone jostling for spots. Back to 1 and 2. The middleman. That goes the 88 machine. Greenwood trying to get it done. Truther is fading. Mubik is moving. Has a shot there to Lyons back down the backstretch.
Mubik is all the way up into the 7th spot. We've seen him make insane comebacks before. Is that another one?
Here is Burns. Oh, Bigham sideways. Right in the middle of the field. He's going to swallow it up to the inside lane. Corlett. Jeremy Cootie. Truther on the brakes. Chad Jeffries on the brakes as well, and the caution's gonna wave again.
They just stopped behind him. Just completely came to a stop on the backstretch into 3.
And they're gonna continue to shorten these cautions up. Not a lot of damage.
You don't even need to pit.
No, you don't need to pit. I think he already went ahead and either Alt F4, that was the 10 machine. or something. Well, let's watch back. Unbelievable. What a...
Well, you saw him here. I mean, they were all 3 wide on the bottom. They were getting more and more dicey. And at this point, I thought somebody, like, just look at this move here that Mubbock makes towards the front, makes this move, tries to get underneath Lyons, can't make it happen. I thought that's where we were going to have it stem from. But we're following Corlett here. It was, I believe, the 10
he wasn't even
car.
the main cause. I think just the 10 machine of Bigums.
Well, it looked like
loose.
He either got loose or he got...
No, he just ran right in the back there of Steinmeier.
Late
and it
reaction.
just snapped.
I think it's just a late reaction from that 10 car.
He realized he was going right for him. I think he was trying to do is prevent a turn. Because look how he hits Steinmeier. Boom, he hits it and he jumps out of the way. That's him trying to be heads up from everyone else. But another caution. We shorten it up again. We get the 1 to go this time by. What are you thinking? You got just 6 on the board when we restart it.
Well, you're looking at who got the good restart. And I think Schmidt is good at the restarts. Baker is too. It's between Walker and Burns. Who is going to be the one to push the man in front of them and really assert themselves in control of this race? We're going to go back to green with 11 laps to go. And once again, we cannot stay stable in that top 4.
No, it's going to be tough. William Schmidt leading right now. I mean, this is just a tough scenario to choose from. Jua's back on pit road, Corlett's back on pit road, and we're shortening the cautions to give them as much time under the green flag as possible. That's by design. But this is going to get even more stressful for a lot of these guys as we get ready to see the green flag again.
It is, and if you're guys like Mubbock, Tinsley, Barry, Steinmeier, you're in that back half of the top 10, it's realistic. You now can make those moves, especially in a restart. But if you're, I'd say even like Dominguez, Person, Greenwood, New Bigging, around there on back, you need to make the move now because time is not on your side.
Chevy on Toyota, that'll be row 1. Chevy on Ford, row 2. Spencer Burns back there, ready to go back at it. New Bigging, Truther, Greenwood, Person, Dominguez, Max Steinmeier. We've had a great crowd all night long. We've had a great group of drivers. Hats off to them, whether you make it or not. The sun is going behind the horizon as we get ready to do this. We start Tuesday in late sunset, and it's prime time under the lights for that race. But to get there, you need to get it now on this Friday evening.
Yes, you do. And again, I'm looking at that second row. You got a Ford and Burns. They've been proven to be the pushers. That goes in Baker's favor. Schmidt has had probably the best restarts tonight. That's in his favor. Which one is going to overcome the other?
Time to find out. Corlett will get back most likely before we see the green flag. Might be off the pace. Sticks on the board. 11 laps to go. Chevy, Toyota back underway.
And another great restart from Schmidt. Goes up to the high side. Has control as the leader. May have too big of a lead, though. Baker looks down low. They all 3 go down there as a line.
I thought they were going to swallow him up. Burns all over Baker. Still wheel-to-wheel Walker on the bottom. Lyons on the outside. Everyone continues to hold on to it down off turn number 2.
Those top 3 staying together like glue. On the bottom,
Schmidt!
He saved it, though. But not the 93 of Walker. He's around.
Down into the grass, and they threw it. So the caution is out again. A lot of pushing, man.
But it shakes everything up. Now Nathan Lyons and Braden Mubbock are in the fast 4. And just like that...
Someone might be getting a penalty because that's the third caution we've had, and it's only a 20-lap race. Let's go take a look.
Well, yeah, let's watch Schmidt here. Now, I don't know if they were working together or it was a good block, but those 3 went in unison. They were in formation up towards the front. Yeah.
Well, we're going to see it right here. Watch from this view. Burns lined in, and Baker, oh, man, just turned him. And Walker went off the nose there at Lyons. Was Walker I think Walker's reacting. Walker was, ooh, I don't know.
He went up, but we'd have to see a better view. But both 2 very fast cars end up basically having their night. I don't know about ended, but the odds are ever not in their favor.
Baker turning, man. That's really tough with 10 to go. You got to be smart.
Maybe it was better when he didn't have a nose.
They're going to discuss it here, but we will see the 1 to go once again.
Well, you know the old adage, cautions breed cautions, but up front now you've got Baker, Burns, Schmidt, Lyons. They're in the race. Armstrong, Mubbock, Steinmeier, and Tinsley are the four that are out behind them.
Chevy, Ford, Toyota. Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet. To everyone listening in, we say welcome. This is it right here. When we come down to it, we will see lights off. Damage for Aiden Walker. He brings it down pit road.
So is Schmidt then, I assume, getting his spot back in third?
So they're saying Baker was shoved by Burns, so they are keeping it as a racing incident. And we hear on Lyons. And they couldn't check up. So they're going to keep the positions with 9 working 8 laps to go. You're in this hard bubble spot, right? When you're an admin, what's the decision? Because Baker goes to the back, he's probably out. See him, gone. But now Walker is out. And Schmidt, somehow, because he was in third when the caution came out, by scoring loop,
he saved it.
He saved it. So he's still in.
That might be the save. Not only it saves this race, that might be the save that come Tuesday night wins him hundreds of dollars.
That's the big thing too. Aiden Walker back on pit road, lights off. He is gonna have to get this thing rolling, and I mean rolling quickly, because this race is coming to a close. Barry, Greenwood, Person, New Bigging, Truther, Cootie, Will Shack, Chad Jeffries back there in 16th. So many names trying to make it into 4 spots. Braden Mubbock in 6. And if you turn someone for that LCQ, we wait and see who made it in. That's the big thing.
Yes, but that's just hypothetical for now. We're going to have 8 to go on this restart. And now you have Schmidt in third. I find that more interesting because he was the one with the best restarts out of anyone. And now he's behind TCB. Up front, you have 2 Fords on the high side in Burns and in Lyons. So, again, a really interesting restart coming up here.
Crowd back on their feet. This could be the last restart. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. All going for 4 positions. Ford, Chevrolet, 8 laps to go in the LCQ. Burns on the bottom. Schmidt in tow, Lyons on the outside, Braden Mubbock now looking rear to wheel. Max Steinmeier on the outside as well as they work their way to 1 and 2.
Creeping on the bottom, Mubbock is looking for that spot. He's got Lyons to pass. Schmidt in third right in front of him. Top 2 breaking away.
Everyone else still holding that 2x2. No 3 wide action just yet. Baker's way too far out in front. They're going to gobble him up here in a moment. Burns there in second. No daylight downstairs. Schmidt joins in. Here comes Mubbock. Back up inside the fast 4.
And Tyler Tinsley behind him. 3 wide behind the leaders now. It's anyone's race.
8 to go. 7 to go this time by Toyota. Chevrolet. TCB leads the herd back off corner exit. They're heading back to 1.
Schmidt might have the lead by just a little. Not yet. Baker has it for now, but he's got the run and the push from Mubbock. Schmidt back to the lead.
He's got it going. Toyota, Chevrolet, Chevy on Ford, that outside lane. Rockets off corner exit. Baker's got to fly. He's got Burns right with them. Lyons and Mubbock, they start battling for that last spot. Mubbock up to block. They're in front of Tinsley, climbing the banking back to 3 and 4.
Nobody is with Schmidt now as the 3-wide battle envelops on the leaders. Top 4 are single file, but not for long. Here comes Greenwood up the middle.
Barry to 7th on the bottom. Schmidt right with them. What's gonna snap? If it does, Tyler Tinsley downstairs. Mubbock with Lyons, with company behind. Lots fading, dreams fading, coming to 5 to go this time.
But now Tinsley has Schmidt giving him the push. The 3-wide dying out for 2x2. Up front, Baker and Burns have it.
Barry is there watching on. Will Shack, Chad Jeffries, Dale Greenwood. Here comes Mubbock to the outside of Lyons. He's gonna throw him 3 wide, and they're all gonna find their way around the Ford, working their way to 3 and 4.
But those front, oh, loose! Tinsley's loose as the leader. Baker tries around the high side. They're 3 wide for the lead, leaving him to dry.
Tyler Tinsley in the middle, dropping like a rock. Here comes Drake Berry down to the inside. 5 to go from Daytona this time.
And again, Baker keeps the lead over Burns. Schmidt has it with Mubik on the high side too. High side getting the run a little bit, but down low they have it organized.
It's absolutely chaos back to the rear end as they look 3 wide. Now Truther stuck in the middle. It's Baker. It's Schmidt. Wheel to wheel with Burns trying to hold on.
Schmidt now getting the push from Berry. He's in the show now, but Mubik gets the run on the high side behind Burns.
TCB on the outside lane, Burns all over him. Mubik trying to go ahead and get that last spot in. He's in the 4th. Berry back to 5th. Lyons, Person, all begging, trying to find a way through. Just 4 to go. There goes Tyler Tinsley around.
And the caution's going to wave. We might have 2 or 3 to go. Overtime?
We're seeing overtime.
All right, let's do it.
And Tyler Tinsley's hopes and dreams in the Diet Pepsi Chevrolet goes hard into the outside wall.
And up front, if it were to end now, Baker, Burns, Mubik, and Schmidt, probably the 4 biggest names in this
dream
race.
team pass 4. That was the dream team right there, if that's how it goes down.
But you got Lyons and Berry there, hungry to try and get into this race. Steinmeier, Person up there. Greenwood earlier had it for a moment. Just a moment up the middle in that 88 Chevrolet, but couldn't make it work when he lost his draft.
And we will see overtime. Tyler Tinsley, another net code issue. Oh, man. And you fear that for NWP when it comes down to it, because you're going to have 40 guys going for every single inch. And this just lines up the final 2 rows. And I look at these guys, I think New Bigging's not out of it. I think Jewe's not out of it. Wolfshack, if he misses it, oh, that would be heartbreak. I saw Eric down in the chat rooting for that 99. Cootie will not be able to get the father-son combo. And Tyler Tinsley, the greatest designer in the NR9 community, is now wound up back there in 20th. So many drivers have missed the LCQ off of wrecking already.
New Bigging, he's back in 11th right now, outside the top 10. With 2 laps to do it, he's got to make an Earnhardt level comeback in the last 2 laps to get in this race.
You're right. 2 to go. Green, white, checkered. No overtime attempt. This is it. And we're going to have relaxed yellows on because of what goes on in the rear.
So, lining them up, I should say. Baker, Burns, Mubik, Schmidt, they're in. Everyone else from here on back, they're out. Berry, Lyons, Person, Steinmeier, Greenwood, Dominguez, New Bigging, Jeffries, Jua, Shack, Corlett Walker, Truth, Cootie, and Tinsley still in. Cootie, Tinsley, and Armstrong in the pits. Looking like it's going to be a 17-car battle for 4 spots.
We have confirmed with the admins. Relaxed yellows. We know the back end of this field can get over the top. With 2 to go, they will go overboard. With that being said, it's been relayed. This could be the finish unless there's a massive wreck up front.
Well, it's got to be within 1 lap. It's got to be within 1 lap. At that point, it's just racing back around. We do not throw the yellow on the last lap in these races. We go to the finish. It could be a 17-car wreck. And that 18th place car, Tinsley, could still get in.
Baker, leader, Burns, second, Schmidt, Mubik, Berry, Lyons. They're going to shuffle this deck again as we get ready to see the 1 to go. This could be the finish of the night. What goes? What doesn't? Something has got to give in these final couple laps. With being Chevy on forward, things might get dicey. Here we go. Final 2 laps. As long as they stay squeaky clean up front, will they? Let's find out. Pace car down below. Dreams, hopes, are they dashed? Are they coming to fruition? 2 to go for the World Center Racing.
Baker with the jump up front again. Him and Burns working together. They are the ones who get away. Now it's beside each other for Schmidt and Mubik for the final spot. And Schmidt's getting right and squeeze it. He can't do it. Now Bubbick on the bottom with Lyons, giving him the push, spin in the back, never mind.
Douglas Snoop-Bigging way in the back. We stay green. Burns lined up there with Baker. Schmidt and Bubbick down the inside. Nathan Lyons, a shot to the back end of this 42, rolling their way back to 3 and 4.
Here comes Greenwood up the middle. He's not giving it up yet. Right behind Schmidt in the 6th spot, trying to give him the push.
This is it. They get to the line. This race is official. Baker 25, Burns 06, sideways off corner exit. They're gonna do it. Son of a Blanca, 1 to go in the LCQ.
Baker now in the lead, but Bubbick getting the push now on the bottom. He's got it from Lyons. They're getting squirrely in the back. The front pack races on.
Bubbick to the bottom. Bubbick to the lead. Down to the 1 and 2. Nathan Lyons with the shot. The shove. Spencer Burns trying everything to get Baker back out in front. Half a lap till victory lane.
High side has the run now. Schmidt back in this race. Bubbick in 4th. Greenwood is in now. Bubbick and Greenwood battle for the final spot.
That's going to be the transfer. What does Burns do to make the move? Schmidt blocking top, blocking bottom.
Bubbick around. And it's going to be Nathan Lyons in the 4th spot. He's got it. That's your final 4.
Spencer Burns, victorious from Daytona. Greenwood, Steinmeier jumped up off corner exit, and that's gonna do it. The hopes, the possibility go up in flames. Braden Bubbick, for the 2nd year in a row, will not make the NWP 400.
Wow. All of that effort, too, that he put in to make sure he's in this race. All for
dude,
naught.
my heart was racing. I felt it for all of them.
All for naught.
Oh, man.
So again, Burns, Baker, Schmidt, and Lyons make it in this race. Person in the 41, the first one out.
And we have our field.
Let's see what happened. I think that Bubbick threw a bad block, it looked like, or maybe he got hooked with Greenwood there.
We'll see. I think him and Greenwood got tagged. That was the big thing.
Well, let's see. He makes the move up top. He threw a bad block.
No.
He choked it away. He could have got the push from Lyons and maybe got it in. Person loose. That's enough for Lyons to get in. Oh.
Nathan Lyons, the unsung hero. Welcome to the main event.
He will be our Mr. Irrelevant starting tail end of the field in the NWP 400. But man,
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Took
And the worst part about it, this with Bubbick going up there to college, this might have been his last race till December.
Took inspiration from Darian on that block.
Oh, man. I think he had to do what he had to do here. Because here comes Greenwood. Greenwood's getting the run. He does his block top right here. It's over. But look at Lyons. Lyons wasn't even shoving him.
Yeah, but still, if he goes, Greenwood's going to have to run up top. But through the trioval, the bottom was getting the run with more cars. He would have had the push from Lyons. Lyons had nowhere to go but the apron. And maybe he would have made that work.
I think we had a photo finish the line. Look at Spencer Burns. First time in victory lane since Atlanta.
We got to pause this one.
We've had 2 photo finishes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how it ends. I think it has been a absolutely amazing night.
Man.
Schmidt, Lyons, ladies and gentlemen, your 40 drivers to race in the NWP 400.
This is just qualifying. Like, this isn't even the race. This isn't even for money.
And we have a lot to look forward to. Now it's all about this Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. The lights will shine bright at Daytona International Speedway. Just one more time.
I mean, you can't say that none of these guys gave it their all. All 63 drivers, probably the best 63 we could have gotten. And they left it all on the line. Nothing was left out there after this race.
Let's go talk to Spencer Burns. His really gross-looking paint scheme has found its way to victory lane. He had the right scheme on before the test. He told me to change it on trading paints. I didn't get to it in time. Let's go talk to him. And I can't wait to see you all Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, ladies and gentlemen. We will get the exact lineup in just a moment. You'll also be able to see the exact lineup before we take the green flag. Come Tuesday night. Hey, champ, it's the John. You got a copy?
Hey, John, I got you. What's up?
LCQ winner. You did it in style. Walk me through that one. It was wild.
Well, I told you yesterday or 2 nights ago, John. I told you, I said, watch out for me. I'm coming. I said, I've been in the books. I've been learning about the draft. I'm going to come out and win one of these duels. Sadly, I got wrecked in the duel from the lead, if you remember that. So I had to come out and win the LCQ right here. And shout out Terrell, William Schmidt. We were top 4 the entire race. Would you call it a master class between me and Terrell?
But master class of like good drivers? Is that what you mean?
Just a master class of the race, just staying up front, absolutely dominating it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did exactly what you have to do. I mean, you got in there, and so many other drivers were not able to go ahead and get it done. But with you, you did exactly what you had to do. I mean, was that by design? You saw TCB in there like, hey, we're going to go ahead and make this.
Yeah, so I was planning on pushing them because I knew that was probably my best way to stay in the top 4, keep it in my hands with another good driver like TCB. So I could push, that way it comes down to me for the speed and it comes down to TCB for actually knowing what to do. And then I kind of figured I'd be fine with pushing them if it was kind of close, but I saw we had a big gap because I shoved him through reinforced, so I pulled out to the outside, got him in the nose.
Well, it all worked out. You had a lot of people in that chat that were not able to go ahead and get it done, but you're going to victory lane, and you get to start from the tail end. You think you have an advantage starting back there?
I think the only thing it's going to change for me is you're going to have to see me up front a little bit later in the race. It's going to take a while to get through 40 cars on this package, but I'm hoping it's a clean race, and I think you got to consider me as one of the favorites.
I like it. Spencer Burns, the winner of the LCQ. You'll see him race for over $600, maybe now even $700 come Tuesday night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, you finished number 1 in duel number 2. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Able to go ahead and get it done. Walk me through that duel.
Well, I dominated for the most part. I think I led the most laps. It got a little sketchy there. I screwed up my pit stop and got behind, and then had the incident with Dan and whatever happened there. He was upset with me, but I didn't think I did anything wrong. It was a little bit of net code. I left him a lane, and the replay showed that, so hate that a bunch of people got taken out of the race from that, but you move on. I was able to work with Kevin and Gucci there late on the late race restart to kind of get us 3 away from the guys behind us, just settled it out between 3 of us, and then came off 4, and I was like, well, hopefully this is practice for come Tuesday, and pulled out and made the pass.
Congratulations, my man. Going up, winning that duel. Didn't I say Joe was going to go ahead and be one of those hard-nosed drivers?
I saw that, and I was like, I can't let him down.
You didn't let me down. That's what I love about it, man.
Yeah, so y'all tune in again Tuesday night, and hopefully same result happens from Duel 2, or I'm on top.
Oh, yeah, man. I can't wait to see that 20 machine back up front.
Alrighty.
Andrew Cootie. It's the John you got a copy, victorious in Duel 1. Way to leave your mark after February. Not stopping going to victory lane.
Oh, no, sir.
You're fine. You won Watkins Glen, too, just last stream.
I'm going to be honest. I think my luck has been absolutely incredible in the last, week. I think I've won just about everything that I've raced in NR, leagues, everything in the last, 5-6 races that I've run. I've won everything right now. I am freaking ecstatic for that. It was, I was very cautious, for the first 40 laps, because I didn't want to be one of those guys that got involved in a wreck or caused a wreck and then, not be able to race on Tuesday, because the main point of this race was to race on Tuesday. There was nothing else. There was no money on the line. There was no nothing. It was Tuesday. That's what this focus was on for this race and this race alone. But that's what I was focused on. But when I took that lead with, 5 to go, 4 to go, I'm like, okay, here we go. I mean, if I don't cause a wreck, I don't block, I don't do what I did in February, I'm going to have a shot. I'm going to be able to stay in front, because these cars are a little bit different with the next gens, where if you do take that push, yes, you could get squirrely, but if you get a small push like how I got off of 2 on the white flag from Champaign, you can stay ahead and focus on that, and build on that run down the back. And then when I saw Champaign go top, I was like, okay, I'm screwed. I'm done. I'm not gonna win. I'm gonna finish, second, third, or fourth, or I'll get wrecked and finish 20th and have to race my way through the LCQ. But then I saw more drop, and I was like, oh my god, am I gonna win this? Okay, let's do this. So I was like, oh my god, I freaking ecstatic. I'm happy that I was able to win, but I'm very sad today after this event, because both my father and Ross did not make the race through the LCQ. Dad was so close. He was so close. But by the way, Jaret, I appreciate you picking him in the underdog pick. I saw the 34 on there. I was like, oh my god, they picked my father. That's cool.
They picked my father.
I was like, that was awesome, So I was happy for that. But yeah, that was awesome. I'm happy that 24 looks really good out front. So we're gonna hopefully go into Tuesday with sitting fourth, or what, I'll start fifth maybe.
Yeah, something
fifth.
Like that.
Yeah,
I'd say fifth.
Yeah, I just hope that I can get through 160 laps, and probably a little bit extra on Tuesday, and hopefully come away with whatever the money is. I mean, I'm not focused on the money. I just want to sweep Daytona. That is my focus. I am sweeping Daytona. That's what I want. So that 24 looks really nice out in front. So we're gonna take the momentum into Tuesday and hopefully win that one too.
Well, it's the blockbuster finale, and we can't wait to see what you can do. Congratulations on winning Duel 1.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see everyone on Tuesday night. Let's freaking go. Show this man some love. He is a freaking legend with this series and this group. A lot of these guys are really good, and it's really competitive. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. So, thank you, buddy. Love you, buddy.
Love you. You have a good one.
You too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up the duels from Daytona. Want to go ahead and say one thing before we go ahead and continue. First things first, thank you to everyone that super chatted. From what we're looking at, it's most likely going to be about $60 going into it from the Dash for Cash from the funding. Want to say thank you to David Bell, super chats, Max Swearage and Eric W for the memberships, Patrick Volk for the $10 as well, Irvin helping out, and so many other viewers. I went ahead and put that money in for the Dash for Cash. It's going to be fantastic. We got lots to look forward to here tonight. Well, towards the end of this night, because we're already done. We got lots to look forward to Tuesday night. Jaret, your 2 cents on it.
I mean, I don't think, and I don't want to toot our own horn here, but I don't think it disappointed. I know we change stuff up every year, but we might have to keep this as the qualifying format for good on this event, because whether it was the first event, the second event, or that LCQ, it didn't matter what it was. They went all out. They put on a heck of a show. And while 27 or so of them, or was it 23 of them, are going home, they raced amazingly. It was great racing to see, right to the finish. Desperate moves, sometimes not the smartest moves, but still a ton of fun for everybody out there. And 4 days. I cannot wait for 4 days. Let's get through this Watkins Glen weekend. Let's get to Daytona, baby.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, heartbreak, everything. You're right about the duels. I've done so many virtual events, including in-person events, that I feel like I know when to just hold your breath, really add on to the excitement. But I was locked in. I was like, there's no way Mothic is missing this. There is no way. And then when I saw him wreck, my jaw dropped. It was unbelievable. But you know what? We got 40 great drivers going for glory. 6,323 said goodnight. And now we will see you all this Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We say so long for now, but in a couple days, we'll be back with the green flag action as the sun sets in Daytona. Jaret, myself, the NWP guys, back at home watching on, we all say thank you. You all have a great night, and I'll once again see you this Tuesday night.